Take on the Huron Tigers, looking to win back-to-back games as they did to start the season. As the Governors, this Huron Tiger team are coming in at 2-3. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean and Greg for the Pierre Governors. It is nice to have all these guys back. Almost everybody is back here tonight and back to that usual starting lineup. Although the guys that came in last week did a really good job. But now it's really nice to get these seniors back.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's almost like coming off a huge injury week. Although none of these kids were injured, so I mean, really, it kind of gave them a week to if they had any nicks or bumps or bruises, kind of gave them a chance to heal up, and so right now, a lot of times you think about getting into the 6th week of the season. It's basically, if you go all the way to the finals, this is the midpoint of the season. And so at this point, you kind of are looking at, what kind of nagging injuries may we be dealing with. But after a week off, especially for about half of the starting unit on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball, you hope they're back to 100%.
As we look at the guys that are returning, Zach Littler's back in the starting lineup. Reagan Bullwig is back in the starting lineup. The offensive line is back intact. Jace Beestrom, Lundy, Gearing, Jacob Larson, Denton Beck, all back. Carson Miller is back, although, again, Ryland Derry went 11 for 11 for extra points. Then you look on the defensive side. Preston Taylor is back, and again, Reagan Bullwig back into his normal starting spot. So this crew is all back to normal for the most part, and the Governors are looking to kind of pick up where they really left off with a lot of the second-string guys and continue to pour it on offensively.
I think one of the keys to the game tonight is going to be the addition of bringing Preston Taylor back into this defensive line. Last week, Pierre did a really good job of containing the run, but what Spearfish did and what they did well was they threw the ball really well. And so I think for tonight, what Pierre needs to do, what the Governors need to do is really not only contain the run game, that'll be on the front three, but can they bring some pressure against Cade McNeil, a very, very top-flight quarterback, even though he's only a junior. We saw him last year, a second-year starter. We saw him last year, and he impressed us last year with his poise and with his arm. And so if Pierre can get some pressure on Cade McNeil and Huron's not afraid to throw the ball, they could present some problems for this Pierre Governor defense tonight.
They'll have Tyson Lean and Jaden Beck in the backfield, and Max Kranzler and Derek Simmons will return the two top studs for them receiving-wise. They've lost quite a bit from that receiving core from last year, but Simmons and Kranzler are back, and they're making an impact for this Huron offense.
Yeah, and what this Huron team does is they run the ball really well. You talked about Tyson Lean and Jaden Beck. Between the two of them, they are almost at 650, a little over 650 yards in rushing, and then you throw in Cade McNeil, who's got close to 600 yards passing through 5 games. Don't let the Huron record deceive you. They're 2-3, but they lost 2 games by 2 points each, and they played undefeated Brookings to a 9-point game. So Huron, even though they've got a small roster, I was surprised when I looked at their roster. They've only got 30 kids, sophomore through senior, on the roster. It's a small roster, but it's a talented roster. This could be a really good game tonight, John.
The Pierre Governors and Huron Tigers here at Hollister Field as the Governors playing host to this Tiger team. We'll step aside for 2 minutes, come back with our first coach interview, and that's going to be with Coach Scott Spann of the Huron Tigers. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. And we welcome you back to Hollister Field as we're set for kickoff here tonight as the Governors take on the Huron Tigers. The Governors won the toss, but they elected to defer to the second half, so we are just about set. The Governors will kick from right to left on your radio dial or your TV screen if you're watching on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Karsten Miller, he is back. He will do the kicking, as is Max Kranzler and Jaden Beck back deep for the Huron Tigers. 12 minutes are on the clock. We're underway here in Week 6 as it goes all the way to the far corner. And almost stepping out of bounds was Beck, but he's going to try and reverse field to the near sideline. He's going to get to the near sideline. He's at the 10, and he's going to run out of bounds around the 15-yard line. So Beck thought he was out of bounds. He was not actually out of bounds. And the tackle was made by Fredrickson. And that's where the Huron Tigers will begin their – Kaylor Heineman was the one that had the tackle. That's where Huron will begin at their own 16-yard line. Cade McNeil, 33 of 89 for 543 yards. He's got 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions so far in the season. Sebastian Cardona, Acer 2, Tristan Cardona, Max Kretschmar, and Elliot DeVries are the offensive linemen. As the first play from scrimmage, the handoff up the middle for Tyson Lean, and he'll get up to about the 20-yard line, a gain of about 4 or 5 to open up play. And Tyson Lean, he picked up 2 inches and 35 pounds over the from last year to this year. So he is a much bigger kid than what he was last fall.
Yeah, and just kind of an option dive handoff to start the game for the Tigers, and a nice push out of the Huron offensive line, and I think that's going to be a real key to the game tonight, John, is who wins the battle of the trenches when Huron has the football.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers out to the left side, 2 on the right. McNeil from the shotgun, quick throw on a curl route. The catch is going to be made and driven to the ground right around the first down marker. It looks like it's going to be enough for a first down, as it looks like it was Cord Ellis that made the tackle, as it is Colby Hott that made the reception, as it was a gain of about 5, and it was enough for a first down. So 2 quick plays, and Huron's move the sticks.
Yeah, just 5 wide for Huron on that play. They sent 3 to the left. Hott was the middle receiver over on the left side. Ran the 2 guys on either side of him down the field, and he just ran a curl route for the first down.
On an option keep, and now a pitch over in the backfield for Jaden Beck, and Beck's got a block. He gets out to the 50, crosses midfield, and he is driven out of bounds inside the 45 to about the 43. As Jaden Beck will pick up a lot of yards for Huron, and they're into the Governor territory.
Yeah, just an option play to the near sideline, and McNeil did a nice job. He held the ball until the very last second, and then he was able to pitch to Lean at the very last second, and Beck got a very nice block from his wide receiver here on the near side, was able to get to the edge, and once he did, then it was a foot race, and luckily for the Governors, the pursuit caught him from the backside.
Gain of 32 yards for Beck on that run. Again, empty backfield here as they have 5 receivers split out wide, 3 to the left side. 3 down linemen for the Governors. They're going to send a 4th one, and they're going to get to the quarterback, and Reagan Bolwig is there for a sack, as it's going to be McNeil. Excuse me. That was actually number 52, Jace Beestrom, that got to the backfield first, and he's going to go all the way back to the 49, a loss of 7.
Yeah, Beestrom coming from his middle linebacker position. He was standing up, and actually he usually plays the right end position, but that time he was backing off the line, actually almost in a linebacker position, and he came creeping up to the line and hit just as the snap took place and able to find a crease, and McNeil just had no time to even set up, and nice play. Nice play for the Governor defense and an ability to bring some pressure, and I think that's going to be a key tonight. Can the Governors bring some pressure and not let McNeil get comfortable in the backfield?
Huron's got to take a timeout as they took a long time to get that next play, and it's 2nd and 17 from the 49. You're listening to KCCR Peoria Riverfront Broadcasting Station. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean here on this Friday evening, a little cooler evening. Rain has gone through. It looks like it should be clear for the rest of the night, but for the amount of rain we haven't had, it's not going to be too much of a factor in this game than the rain that has already fallen.
Yeah, I went down and walked on the field prior to the game, and the field is actually in very good shape. I mean, it's very well manicured and lots of lush, thick grass out there. Kudos to the Pierre grounds crew. But the footing, I think, in the middle of the field, I saw a couple of the Pierre receivers not necessarily have the greatest footing as they were trying to come out of their breaks in pregame warmup. So I don't think footing is going to be a real issue tonight, but it is something you gotta think about and consider.
Second and 17 for the 49 out of the timeout. Again, an empty backfield here. 3 receivers out to the left side as McNeil's flushed out of the pocket. He's going to try and run with it. He's going to be thrown down. It's a second straight sack as it is Austin Foley that will get to him. And now the Hurons going the wrong way after they got to the 42. They're all the way back to their own 43. Third and very long now.
Yeah, the Governors ran a twist up front. Preston Taylor out of his nose tackle position circled around to the right side, and then Gunnar Gehring was able to beat his guy on the near side and brought the initial pressure, but McNeil was able to elude Gehring, but Josh Rouse was the one that put him on his back at the 43-yard line.
So they're going to go empty backfield here again. 3rd and 25 from the Huron 43. A promising drive that's in danger of being out of here. And then third sack in a row for the Governors. As this one was knocking him down was Colin Brueggemann. I don't even think he got his arm up. He just shouldered him to the ground, and McNeil goes down 3 straight times. This one was only a loss of 1, but it's 4th down and 26, and Huron's going to punt the ball away.
Brueggemann again on a blitz coming right up the middle, and he just bull rushed the left guard for the Tigers and was able to push him right back into the middle of the pocket and actually, like you said, just kind of blocked his guy into McNeil and put him on the ground.
Excuse me, his loss actually of 6, so it's 4th and 31 on the punt. Trey Lewis and McGuire Rasky are back deep. He's going to take a hop, and nobody's going to be able to get to it for the Governors as Simmonsville will grab it right at the 25-yard line. Excuse me, that for Huron, that was actually grabbed by Tegan Fitzer. And it's now 1st and 10 here for the Pierre Governors, and their offense comes out for the first time, and Lincoln Keenolds will lead that team out as so far in those 4 games for the Governors, 56 of 104 for 924 yards, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He's averaging 231 yards through the air on the game. And, of course, he's got the guy in the backfield, McGuire Rasky, 90 attempts, 15 touchdowns, 606 yards so far this season for this Pierre Governor running back. On 1st and 10 from the 25, Keenolds will throw it out wide to McGuire Rasky. He'll try and stiff arm him, and he gets to the 30 before he's run out of bounds at around the 31-yard line. So a quick gain of 6 for McGuire Rasky to make the first catch of the game for the Governors.
Yeah, just kind of a safety valve route out here on the near sideline. We've got a Huron Tiger player down on the near sideline. Can't see who it is, but that's going to be an issue for Huron because they have a thin roster. If this roster is only 30 players deep, and so you've got a lot of guys going both ways, and so if they lose any one of these key players, and I think I'm not going to commit to it, but I think that's Jaden Beck that's down for the Tigers. And if they lose him for any kind of period of time, that's going to be a real blow to the Huron running game.
As they get him up on his feet, still can't see the number yet. And it is Jaden Beck that was down for the Huron Tigers. And he is limping off to the Pierre Governor sideline as maybe they'll put him in the cart and be able to get him around to the Huron side, but they'll check him out as it's going to be 2nd and 4 from the 31. It was a gain of 6 from McGuire Rasky. Go through the rest of the offensive starters here for the Pierre Governors. Jace Beestrom, Houston Lundy, Gunnar Gehring, Jacob Larson, Denton Beck on the offensive line. Aaron Booth, Zach Lettler are the 2 receivers. Colin Brueggemann, the fullback, he's back again as he already made a sack in this game. Reagan Bullwig, the tight end, as McGuire Rasky will not get the handoff as Keenolds will keep it. He's shed 1 tackler, and he got to around the 37 or 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short here for the Governors. They got to get out to the 35, so it's at the 33 on a gain of 2 for McGuire or for Lincoln Keenolds. 3rd and 2 from the 33, 7:58 to go here in the first quarter. From the pistol, handoff for McGuire Rasky. His first touch going up the middle. He's out to the 40-yard line, picks up enough for a first down as he picked up 7. And it's a 1st and 10 for the Governors and their first 3rd down conversion of the game. And McGuire Rasky over 600 yards so far through 4 games, but the most impressive stat is he got 15 touchdowns on the ground in 4 games for the Governors.
Yeah, just a straight handoff up the middle and nice hole for the Pierre offensive line in the middle on the right side, and Rasky had a lot of running room.
As Keenolds, he'll step up in the pocket, he'll take off with it, breaks 1 ankle, he's out of the 50, crosses midfield, and then he's thrown down as it just barely getting a piece of him was Colby Hott. Otherwise, it was going to be almost Keenholz taking it to the house, but he gets enough for a first down, a gain of 14 to the 46 of the Huron, and it's another 1st and 10.
Yeah, just and I don't think it was a design play. I think Keenholz just saw an opening in the middle of the pocket after he dropped back to pass and had a lot of running room. And like you said, if he turns the corner, he's going to get a lot more yardage out of that.
McGuire Rasky slips to the offensive line as he had to stutter step. He just got another first down as he gets down to the 35-yard line, a gain of 11 for McGuire Rasky. And this offense is starting to click a little bit more here on the first drive. 7:07 to go. And it's 1st and 10 from the Huron 35.
Yeah, right now the Pierre offensive line is doing a really good job in terms of winning the battles up front. They are clearing some big holes for both Rasky and Keenholz as Pierre is moving the ball down the field well in this first drive.
Play action. Keenholz will throw. A flag is up. Bowling makes the catch right over a Huron Tiger defender, and he's going to get all the way down the 2-yard line. There is a flag right at the line of scrimmage, and the offensive line isn't moving. Looks like it's going to be a hold, and it will be on the Pierre Governors. So that catch for a Bullwig, that's his first grab since he was first hurt, or not even hurt, just missing last week. It's hard to say that he just missed, and so the Governors will have to back it up, and they won't get it all the way down inside the 5.
Yeah, and just a really nice catch by Reagan Bullwig. Unfortunately, that's going to be nullified, and this play will come back. But Keenholz rolled to his right and found Bullwig, and Bullwig was actually pretty well covered. I mean, he had a guy in front of him, and Keenholz put it just over top of the defender, and Bullwig, using his 6'3" frame, went up and got it, and was able to come down with it. And like I said, unfortunately, the play is nullified because of the holding penalty.
1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Rasky will get the pitch to the left side as he'll take it to about the 35-yard line. So he'll pick up those 10 yards back, and it will be 2nd and 10 now from the 35-yard line.
Yeah, just a quick pitch out to the left side, out to the near side, and the Governors had a couple of really good lead blocks out in front of him. Houston Lundy coming out of his left guard position, and then Reagan Bullwig from the tight end position had a couple of nice seals, and were able to get Rasky some pretty good yardage on that play.
As that's a broken play here. Keenholz, he turned to his left. Rasky was going to his right, and Keenholz had to take off. He gets to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 6. So it's now 3rd and about 5 here for the Governors. And it will be a 3rd down play, and that make something out of nothing because Keenholz turned to his left, and Rasky was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Keenholz took the snap out of the pistol and just turned to his left, and Rasky went to the right, and luckily Keenholz didn't just made a quick decision, was able to get something out of nothing, and again a good hole up front for the Pierre offensive line, and because of that, positive yardage for the Governors.
3rd and 5 for the 30, 5:50 to play here in the first quarter. Keenholz will fake the pitch. He gets wrapped up. He's out to about the 25-yard line. This is going to be close. They might call for a measurement here. He gets to the 25-yard line where they need to be, and we'll see where the football is placed, if it's a first down or not. And the referee looking at it right now. It was a pickup of at least 5, and it's going to be enough for a first down. The Governors convert another 3rd down conversion on this drive.
Yeah, a lot more use of Lincoln Keenholz in the running game so far on this first drive, more than what we've seen. He is the 2nd leading ball carrier on this team, but more usage of him out of the backfield than what we've seen in the running game so far this year.
Rasky will get the handoff. He's trying to slip through that defensive line. That kind of collapsed in. The offensive line got a good push, but the defensive line was able to surround Rasky as he'll pick up about maybe 2 and brings up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Tyson Lean on the tackle for the Tigers out of his middle linebacker position. Back to Jaden Beck, the injured Tiger. He is still on the Pierre sideline being attended to by Casey Michelson, the Pierre athletic trainer. Looks like they're wrapping up an ankle. He did not put any weight on that ankle when he came off the field. So we'll see if he returns or not. 2nd
and 8 from the 23, a pitch to the right side for McGuire Rasky. He'll spin trying to turn things around, and he'll get to the 20-yard line as he fell backwards, but it ended up being forwards for a gain of 3, and it's now 3rd and about 5 for the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and again, just that same quick pitch, only this time going to the far side of the field, and Rasky turned it up at first daylight and was able to gain a few yards, wasn't able to get to the edge.
Need to get to the 15, 3rd and 5 for the 20-yard line, 4:20 to play here in the first quarter. Two receivers on the left side. Keno's in the empty backfield. Keno's will throw, looking for Zach Lettler, his first chance, and overthrows that receiver for Lettler, and it brings up fourth down.
Pierre went unbalanced line to the left, put three receivers in the pattern, and Lettler was open, but just got overthrown in the corner of the end zone, and it'll bring up fourth down and about 4 for the Governors, and they're not shy about going for it on fourth down.
As the way this drive has been, you really want to feel comfortable score some points here. 4:12 to play in this first quarter. It is fourth and about 4 or 5 here from the 20-yard line. Three receivers are stacked to the right side. An empty backfield. Keno's look to pass. He'll throw over the middle, looking for Bullwig, and overthrows Bullwig. Threw him too far, led him too far, and it falls incomplete. And that will be a turnover on downs. And the Huron Tigers, all the momentum now is on their side because they got to stop inside the red zone of the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, and again, Bullwig coming from the far side of the tight end position, just running a post route across the field back to the near side. He was open in the middle of the field, and unfortunately, Keenholz just overthrew him again. So the Governors turned the ball over on downs, and now we'll see if the Governors can step up on the defensive side. The Tigers are without one of their key running backs, so they're down one of their key personnel right now.
He is standing back up. He's got a little bit of weight on that foot, does Jaden Beck. But it is a pistol formation here, 1st and 10 from around the 20-yard line. Handoff ball gets on the ground. McNeil's able to pick it up. He's going to lose yards again, and he's going to be thinking, what in the world do we got to do here so I don't get a tackle? I'm trying to even hand the ball off, and I'm still getting tackled.
Yeah, that's the fourth straight play that Huron has run where McNeil has ended up with his ball under a bunch of Governors, and so he's got to wonder what he did wrong in the last week to deserve this kind of treatment.
As they'll go all the way back to about the 17-yard line, so a loss of 3 on that first down play. 3:30 to play here in the first quarter. 2nd and 13 from the Huron 17-yard line. Two receivers out to the right side and left side. McNeil from the shotgun. McNeil looked to pass here on the near side. He'll throw in the flat. The catch is going to be made, and it's going to be a first down. And Jake Mayer falls down, and now a one-man to beat. Is he going to go all the way? 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Huron Tigers take the first lead with 3:11 to play. As Carter Hott makes the catch and goes 83 yards for a touchdown. And Huron opens up the scoring with 3:10 to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and just an out route for Hott, just a short route, and the Governors were in man coverage. And what happened was, I think it was Josh Rouse was on the coverage. He came up and was just a half a step late and trying to deflect the ball. And once Rouse missed deflecting the ball, Hott was able to make the turn, and then it was just he got a nice block from his receiver out here on the near side, and then it was just a foot race, and Hott won that foot race for 83 yards, and the Huron Tigers are up 7-0 with 3:10 to go here in the first quarter.
That extra point is good, so 7-0, 3:10 left to go in the first quarter, back in 30 seconds. So listen to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. As it is a 7-0 lead with 3:10 to play here for the Huron Tigers as we welcome you back to Hollister Field. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, Huron strikes first, and after that stop in the red zone here, they get 2 plays. They go 83 yards for that touchdown on the touchdown pass to Carter Hott, and all of a sudden, all the momentum right now. There's not a whole lot of Huron faithful over there, but that's all over there. All the momentum's right there for the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely, and Pierre pretty much dominated the game against Huron last year. This is a rivalry game, John. I mean, every time Huron and Pierre square off against each other, whether it's on the football field, the basketball court, the volleyball court, everybody brings their A game. And so we'll see what happens here tonight because these are a couple of teams that really just try to outdo the other one.
Colin Bergman will take the ensuing kickoff as it was a short kick as he takes it to the 32. And it'll be 1st and 10 here for the Governors, who had a 12-play drive that stalled out. They had 9 runs, 3 passes in that first drive, but it stalled out at the Huron 19-yard line. And now the Governors have got to find a way to answer here with 3:05 left to go in the first quarter. It's not do or die here in the first quarter, but you'd like to at least play even with the Tigers in this ball game. As Keenholz will hand off for McGuire Rasky, maybe we'll see a little bit heavier dose of him as he bounces off one hit, but he's not going to get a whole lot as he'll be a little slow to get up and pick up 1 to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, just an inside handoff, and Rasky not able to find much running room on that play. One of the few plays, running plays so far where the Governors really haven't gotten a good push out of the offensive line.
3 receivers out to the right side. Keenholz in an empty backfield. He'll look to throw. He'll throw over the middle. The catch is going to be made by Aaron Booth. It's a first down for the Governors as it's going to be to the 42-yard line. A gain of 10 for Aaron Booth on his first catch of the day.
Yeah, and nice job by Keenholz. He stood in the pocket on that play. Got a little pressure from the left defensive end of the Huron Tigers who got a good rush, but he stepped in, waited for Booth to break open over the middle, and nice pass completion for a first down.
Another 3 receivers out to the right side. Keenholz all kinds of time. Now will step up and run with it. As the Keenholz will get 1 block, and he'll get out to the far side of the field, crosses midfield, and he'll get out to inside the 40-yard line. Looked like maybe there's a chance of maybe a block in the back, but didn't get a whole lot of it as he's going to get all the way down to the 38-yard line. That's a big gain for Lincoln Keenholz and a first down for the Governors.
Yeah, you heard Coach Steve Steele talk in the pregame about the fact that Huron doesn't bring a lot of pressure, and that they're willing to just kind of sit back and give up yardage in small chunks. And so if the Governors, and that may be part of the game plan, is that they have told Keenholz, if you see an opening, just go ahead and pull the ball down and take what you can get.
There's a gain of 20. Keenholz will roll to his right, throws on the run. The catch is made by Bullwig. The man fell down, and Bullwig's going to take it to the end zone for a touchdown. The Governors are quickly an extra point away from tying the game up. Bullwig's second touchdown of the season. 13th reception of the year. And after missing last week, Bullwig immediately makes an impact with 1:56 to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, just a rollout to the right for Keenholz, and what he was able to do then was find Bullwig coming across, and like you said, John, Bullwig was open, and then not only after the pass was completed and caught, once Bullwig made a turn upfield, the defender fell down, and from there it was just clear sailing into the end zone, and Bullwig might not have been able to walk in, but he wouldn't have had to move very fast to score on that play.
As Carson Miller come off for the extra point, but we had an injured player here for the Huron Tigers all the way back near that. Almost might have been where the defender fell over. And Casey Michelson looks like out there again to talk with the injured Huron Tiger player right now. 1:56 is left to go in the first quarter, 7-6. As 7-6 is the lead for the Huron Tigers in quarter number 1. The Governors, after tonight, they'll go to the road with Brookings, which it may be for the Governors. If Brookings undefeated right now, maybe the Governors are maybe thinking about Brookings next Friday a little bit more than they should be thinking about Huron right now.
Yeah, the Governors, the next 2 games on Pierre's schedule are going to be key to their playoff placing going into the playoffs. And undefeated Brookings next week, and then Mitchell the week after that. Looks like the injured Tiger is number 11, Dylan Lichty, the 5'9", 141-pound sophomore.
So now we're ready for the extra point as he is able to be helped off the field, as Karsten Miller will try and tie it up with 1:56 to play here in the first. High snap. Good job to bring it down for a good hold, and the kick is up and good, and it's 7-7 with 1:56 to play here in the first. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. For the Pierre Governors, it was a 4-play, 69-yard drive, a 38-yard catch from Reagan Bullwig from Lincoln Keenels, and the Governors have tied it up at 7-7 here with 1:56 to play in this first quarter. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean, and again, even though Huron they just gave up that quick 4-play drive to the Governors, I'm still going to feel kind of confidence here in this first quarter. They've played nearly 10 minutes, over 10 minutes with this Governor team tied, and now here for Huron, again, they got a chance to retake the lead as they get the ball back on this ensuing kick. As Miller will tee it up and kick it to the far side of the field and be grabbed by, I believe Beck is out there again, and he'll be taken down. As it's going to be to about the 20-yard line was where Huron will get the possession. The next possession, Carter Hott was for the Huron Tigers.
Yeah, and again, we'll see if Jaden Beck returns for the Tigers. A key part of their rushing attack, Jaden Beck, 36 rushes, 256 yards, an average of just a little over 7 yards a carry and 4 touchdowns so far on the year.
1st and 10 from the Huron 20. Rasky was showing blitz, and now he'll pull back as the handoff was up the middle, and not a whole lot going for Tyson Lean, as it'll be no gain for Tyson Lean for no gain. It's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, just again an option play, lean on kind of the up fullback, and he got the dive play and was stacked up in the middle of the line, led by a couple of Governors, led by Colin Brueggemann out of his middle linebacker position.
1:17 and counting here to go in the first quarter. 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Neal from the shotgun. He'll look to pass. He'll throw to the sideline. The catch is made, wrapped up and out of bounds. And a good job to get that open field tackle and throw him out of bounds. As the tackle is made by Tristan Curry, Fitzer made the catch, and it's 3rd down as the clock is stopped. As it's a gain of 6 to the 26.
Yeah, just an out route for the Tigers over there. McNeil had time to sit back in the pocket. Again, the Governors ran a twist up front. Jace Beestrom came out of his end position into the middle, and Preston Taylor on a slant to the far side. And the Governors, if they're able to get some pressure, they generally have to bring a backer in order to get some pressure on McNeil.
3rd and 4 from the 26. McNeil will throw over the middle and catch, and the ball is actually tipped up in the air and it'll fall incomplete. As both Simmons was in the vicinity, and it was Josh Rouse that was the man to break up the pass, and it'll fall incomplete. And that's the first incompletion for McNeil, who was 3 for 3 for 100 yards exactly on those first 3 passes. But the Tigers now going to put the ball away. 4th and 4 from their own 26.
Yeah, nice stop for the Governors on the 3 and out. Kind of a size mismatch there between Josh Rouse, even though he's listed at 5'10". That's a pretty generous 5'10", and the 6'3" Derek Simmonsma is a big load coming out of the Huron line at the tight end position.
As Colby Hott will punt the ball away for the Huron Tigers. Both Trey Lewis and McGuire Rasky is back for that punt, as it'll go and be grabbed by Lewis, and there'll be a fair catch as they'll get it at the Governor 47-yard line. He's one of those guys, a freshman from last week that played so well that he gets another chance to be a part of this starting unit for this Governor team and the special teams.
Yeah, especially back on kick returns. Only putting one guy back, that's a lot of field to cover and a lot to ask, especially out of a guy even as talented as McGuire Rasky is, to be able to cover the whole field from sideline to sideline. And so having a second kick returner back there is really a plus.
3 receivers out to the left side, 2 tight ends. A throw, looking for Rasky. He's wide open. The catch is made in between 2 defenders. He's not going to get in. He's going to get all the way down the 1-yard line. And it's a 1st and goal from the 1. As it's a gain of about 54. It should be a gain of about 52 for McGuire Rasky on the pitch and catch.
Yeah, Rasky on coming out of the slot on the near side on a 3-receiver set on the near sideline, and just ran a go route right up the middle, and he was able to just find a lot of space in the middle of the field, and with that 52-yard completion, the Governors are knocking on the door.
From under center, Keenels will hand off for Rasky, trying for his 16th rushing touchdown of the season. He did not get in yet. And it will be no gain for McGuire Rasky. 30 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, just straight dive up the middle and a good push from the Huron line. They just stood the Governor offensive line up, and Rasky, even as good as he is, was not able to find pay dirt from just 1 yard away.
10 seconds to go. Second and goal from the 1 yard line. Keenol's bobbled the snap. He's going to fall on top of it. And Huron's trying to say that they got it. Oh boy, this would be a huge disaster. And Huron's got it. The snap was bobbled. Keenol's couldn't feel it cleanly. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 1 yard line now as the quarter comes to an end. And the Huron Tigers will have the ball. Although the referees are talking about it right now, they haven't fully made the decision on what it's going to be. And see if the referee has an explanation for it.
That's the end of the first quarter. First down, Huron.
And it will be Huron football as we start the second quarter. The Governors fumble on their own 1 yard line. We'll step aside for a minute. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. 7-7 here as we start the second quarter at Hollister Field. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean.
A couple of quick score updates. Mitchell leads Brookings late in the first quarter, 6-0. Sturgis and Yankton are tied at 3 late in the first quarter. Sully Butte's up 6-0 over North Border, that at the end of 1.
1st and 10 from the 1 yard line to start the second quarter. It is 1st and 10 from the Huron 1. Huron's got the ball after Keno fumbled the snap. It was picked up by the Tigers. McNeil from the pistol. They'll try and hand off and try and get moving out of that 1 yard spots, and they will pick up maybe one for Tyson Lean.
Dive ahead for a gain of about 1
And maybe it was more about a half a yard, so it's going to be 2nd and 9 from the 2 yard line for the Tigers. And the Governors, again, still, this defensive line, they're built for these situations at the goal line, one goal line or the other. They're built for those tough situations for the other team.
Yeah, and we'll see if the Governors decide to try to bring some pressure, and maybe, Huron likes to throw the ball. We'll see if they can maybe bring some pressure, maybe get a safety out of this deal.
As McNeil hands it off again, and again, a couple of yards, maybe one there for Lean. Maybe he might not even got back to the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 3rd down and 9 from the 2. Well, they're going to say it's a gain of 1, so it's 3rd and 8 from the 3 yard line. Huron's not going to get themselves in any favorable positions to try and punt the ball away if they do this one more time on this drive. It's 3rd and 8 from their own 3.
Yeah, and this is a tough situation, especially for a high school team. I mean, if you try to pass out of your end zone and you have a penalty that takes place in the end zone, that results in a safety as well. So dangerous territory here for the Tigers.
Under 5 of the play clock, McNeil looked to pass, a throw over the middle. The catch is dropped, and it'll be 4th down. As for the Governors, it was Jake Mayer that was in coverage. And there's another guy, Jake Mayer, the guy that did not start in the first couple of games, got a chance to start because of all the guys that are out. And he earned a start here and make some pass breakup on a 3rd down play.
Yeah, and that may well have been a 1st down. But Jake Mayer, good coverage on the post route coming across from the outside receiver for the Tigers, and made a nice break on the ball at the right time, able to deflect the pass away and results in an incompletion. And the Tigers got a punt from the back of their end zone.
Yeah, Simmons was going to have to punt from his end zone here from the own 3 yard line. So he doesn't have a lot of room to work with, but he'll get a good punt. Trey Lewis, he'll let it bounce. Nobody was back there, and the Tigers are going to have basically flip the field here. It's going to go all the way down the 49 yard line of the Governor. So a huge punt there for Simmonsma from his own end zone and the Governor's going to go 51 yards here. Again, for a lot of the Pierre Governors, that's not a whole lot to go, but where you thought you could have at least had it would have been about maybe 30 or 20 yards to go to the end zone.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Governors, a ball that if Trey Lewis is able to catch that ball, he probably even if he fair catches the ball, he probably catches it at about the Tiger 35-yard line. The ball landed and then rolled about almost 20 yards, and so the Governors actually put the ball in play at their own 48.
McGuire Rasky gets a pass to the flat, makes one man miss. He's out to the 40, to the 35, and he is tackled out of bounds at around the 31, maybe 30-yard line. And McGuire Rasky's got enough for a first down for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, Rasky got rode out by about 3 different Huron Tigers, and their momentum took them almost all the way to the edge of the running track, and there was a couple pleasantries exchanged between a couple of the gentlemen as they got up, and so again, this is a rivalry game, John. We'll see if the emotions are running high enough where something happens at some point. You hope not.
Zach Lettler make the catch on a screen pass. He'll jump over a man, and they'll get a flag coming in as Lettler hurdled the man that's on the ground. And so it'll be a gain of 5 or 6 on Lettler's pass. So it's a gain of 20 from Keenels to Rasky. That's going to be an interesting call because he's on the ground. And so hurdling you kind of hurdled him, but he was laying on the ground.
Yeah, and the flag came in right where Lettler jumped over the Huron defender. And so we'll see the officials, looks like 3 of them in the huddle talking this thing over, trying to make sure they get the call right.
So we'll see here as the referee starts to get away from the huddle, and now he'll go back again and confer with everybody before we get the call. And the good thing is that he is mic'd up so we can hear the answer or to hear what the penalty is going to be.
10-yard penalty from the spot of foul.
So it wasn't hurdling, it was a hold on Pierre. So that'll push them back 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So it'll be first down still. And then instead of being, first and 20 like you normally see, the hold was having well past the line of scrimmage, and it's at the 36-yard line. So first and 15 here for the Governors. 3 receivers out to the right side, empty backfield here for Keenels. As he'll look to his left, he'll throw over the middle, looking for Bullwig into double coverage, and almost a one-handed interception when it falls incomplete. And 3-4 guys around Bullwig. And Bullwig, again, he can make those catches in traffic, but it was near for Huron to have an opportunity to make that interception.
Yeah, Bullwig coming out of the tight end position on the far side. The Governors unbalanced line to the near side, and they sent 5 guys into the pattern. And Bullwig on kind of a flag route up the field and then toward the pylon. He actually was bracketed on both sides, front and back, and McNeil almost made a one-handed catch for the interception.
There's another throw that is almost intercepted. Zach Lettler, though, had an opportunity. It just went right over the hands of one of the Huron Tiger players, and then Lettler couldn't make the grab, trying to go over the top of a Huron Tiger, and it's now 3rd and 15.
Yeah, and we heard Coach Steve Steele talk in the pregame that Huron likes to just drop 7, and so even when Pierre puts 5 into the pattern, they're able to put double coverage on some guys, and that's exactly what happened on that play. Lettler was double covered both front and back.
9:50 to play here in the first half. There's a throw off the hands of McGuire Rasky. That falls incomplete. 3 straight incompletions, and it's now 4th and 15. And the Governors are probably going to have to punt the ball away from the Huron 36-yard line, but from where they're at, if they might just go for it here because a punt is almost as good as just turn the ball over on downs at this point. And it's too far away. That's a 51-yard field goal for Karsten Miller. I mean, we saw that around the country, making a 51-yard field goal and some in the state, but we're not going to see that here. It's going to be 4th and 15 for the 36. See if the Governor can pick it up. 9:44 to go in the first half. Keenels with an empty backfield. He'll step up and roll to his left. He'll throw across his body up, and it's going to be intercepted after it bounced a couple times. And instead, now, it's going to be an interception, but the Tigers are going to get at the own 15-yard line instead, where it's going to be at their own 36. So not the worst-case scenario in that spot on that interception.
Yeah, and Keenhol's rolling to his left, so he had to actually stop and try to square his body, actually kind of threw across his body. Had Bullwig open for a second, but again, the Tigers are really focusing on Bullwig and on Lettler, and they're pretty much drawing double coverage every time that they go into the pattern. And so Keenhol's actually underthrew him just a little bit. Ball got tipped up, actually, and that's what caused the interception. And so, like you said, John, this is almost like a punt. I mean, with about a 20-yard punt. So the Tigers are taking the ball over inside their own 20.
At the line of scrimmage, at the 15, the pile is kind of moving a little bit. Maybe the forward progress was stopped at right around the 15-yard line for Tyson Lean, so it's going to be no gain. Actually, they're going to call it a gain, a 2 to the 16-yard line. It was at the 14, so Tyson Lean, he's got 5 carries so far for 9 yards. He has been bottled up here by this front 3 of the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, a guy that averaged almost 7.5 yards a rush so far this year. To bottle him up for under 2, that's a testament to the run defense that the Governors are rolling out tonight.
2nd and 8 from the 16. A handoff again for Lean. He's going to try and bounce it here to the near side, and he's going to be run down. He's going to lose those 2 yards back, so it's going to be 3rd and about 10, as there's 3 different Governors that were there. McGuire Rasky, as well as when you look at the other guys for the Governors. McGuire Rasky was there. There's also Tristan Curry and Cord Ellis. So 3 different Governors make that, called a loss of 3, so it's 3rd and 11.
Yeah, Beck on a straight handoff. The play was designed to go up the middle. There was nothing there, so he tried to bounce it to the outside. And once he got outside the tackle box, he had 5 Governors chasing him to the sidelines.
So it's 3rd and 11 from the 13-yard line. Empty backfield here. 5 wide receivers for McNeil. He'll throw over the middle as he's fading away. It's going to fall out of bounds as Coach Spohr made the catch and kind of basically took it away from Max Kranzler. But there's no way Kranzler was going to make that catch in play. But Adam Spohr make sure that catch was going to be made.
Yeah, Coach Spohr is actually about three yards behind the sideline, so no way that ball was going to be caught. But nice catch by Coach Spohr. I think he was a former wide receiver at Southwest Minnesota State, if I remember right.
I think a little bit of some background on Coach Spohr now too, as it will be a punt away. This will be a little bit easier for Simmons from the own 13-yard line, so he can go all the way back to his own end zone to make this punt. McGuire Rasky and Trey Lewis again are back deep. That was a high snap and almost got it past Simmons, which would have been a safety. McGuire Rasky is going to have to try and field it as he's going to pick it up. Not going to pick it up. It's going to be the 49-yard line again where the Governors will take over. So I think Lewis and Rasky right now are not communicating on where, because he's putting it straight in between them, and they're not really communicating on who's going to take that one in between them.
Yeah, and I think you're right, John. That time Rasky looked over at Lewis, and you could just tell that as the ball was coming down and about to hit the turf, that Rasky kind of had that, I better go try and get this look. And again, I think you need to clean up that communication between your 2 punt returners, because you shouldn't let 2 consecutive punts hit the grass.
So here, McGuire Rasky in the backfield, get the handoff on 1st and 10. He'll sidestep one man that fell over. He's going to fall forward as he's brought down at around the 42-yard line in Huron territory. So he picked up 9 yards. And it'll be for a 2nd and 1 for the Governors.
Yeah, again, just a straight handoff. And again, the Pierre offensive line opened up a big hole on the right side for McGuire Rasky to get 9 yards.
Rasky again, a handoff. He'll sidestep again and cut it back across the 40-yard line to about the 39, a gain of 3. And it's a 1st down for the Governors as they move the chains.
Yeah, and Rasky does a nice job of picking his holes. You'll see him kind of make a jump cut and try to get a little bit of daylight, and he's got pretty quick feet. I mean, you see that out of the 6-year varsity wrestler and 5-year varsity baseball player. He's got really good feet, and we're seeing a lot of that not only tonight but throughout this football season.
Picked up 4 yards on that 1st and 10 handoff, so it's now 2nd and 6, as it'll be a receiver on each side. As Bergman will move to the right side. Rasky will get the pitch to the right as he gets past the 30-yard line, and he brought down as he was falling forward to about the 28-yard line. And a gain of about 11 here for McGuire Rasky all the way down the 27, so a gain of 8 for McGuire Rasky.
Yeah, Brueggemann is actually up close to the line. I mean, he's almost positioned right behind the left guard when he starts his shuffle motion, and then he just leads the block around the right side for Rasky, and Rasky got the first down on the play.
Rasky with the handoff to the right side. He'll take it inside the 25 to about the 24, a gain of about 3. And again, this is a McGuire Rasky drive. He's already got 5 carries, and he's picked up 27 yards so far in those 5 carries.
Yeah, and again, we know that that Rasky is one of those backs that the more you give him the ball, the stronger he gets, the longer he goes in the game.
Rasky from the pistol again gets a handoff. He'll barrel over one man and with a shoulder, throws a guy down. He gets inside the 20 of the 19-yard line, a gain of 5. And it's now 3rd and 2.
Yeah, Rasky was actually met right at the line of scrimmage by Tristan Cardona for the Tigers, 5'10", 240-pound senior nose tackle, and they went shoulder to shoulder, and Rasky just bounced off and was able to pick up about 5 yards after first contact.
Pitch to the left side. Rasky will cut it back to the middle of the field, and he'll get to the 15-yard line, a gain of about 4. That's enough for a first down.
Just that kind of quick pitch out to the left side, and Rasky cut up at first daylight and was able to find a hole. And again, on 3rd and 3, he wasn't looking for very much, and he got 4.
8th play of the drive here for the Governors. 1st and 10 for the 15-yard line. 5:25 to play. Play action. First time they're not going to go to Rasky here. Keenel's rolling to his left. Now he's going to turn around and look to his right over the middle. He's going to throw. There's a flag down. Rasky makes the catch. And he's going to cut it to the middle of the field. He's going to take it in the end zone for a touchdown. With that flag around the 18-yard line, that will probably come back for the Governors. And that's the second time now they're going to score and have to bring it back off of a penalty.
Yeah, and nice presence in the pocket for Lincoln Keenholz to roll to his left. Had Aaron Booth and Reagan Bolwig in a flood route out to the left side. They were both well covered, so he reverses field and comes back, is able to hit Rasky on the near sideline. Rasky made a nice move and was able to walk into the end zone from about 15 yards out, but unfortunately, penalty on the Governors, and this one's going to come back it's going to end up being about a 15-yard penalty is going to be the net result.
It's a blindside block that was called on the Governors, so it's 1st and 25 from the 30-yard line now. 5:11 to play here in the first half. 7-7 is our score. 2 receivers on the left side. Keenel's a look to the left. He'll throw in the pocket off the hands of Lettler. It's going to be intercepted again by the Tigers. Lettler didn't make the catch cleanly. It bounced right in the hands of the Huron Tigers, as it is Cade McNeil, the quarterback. But he's playing a quarterback or a safety position, and he picks up another interception. And Keenel's his official last two pass attempts, have thrown back-to-back interceptions.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Governors, they are making mistakes in the red zone tonight that are costing him the ability to put some scores on the board. That was a play where Keenholz had Lettler open in the middle of the field and tried to rifle the ball in there, just bounced off of Lettler's hands and right into McNeil, just the old tip drill, and McNeil, nice return on the play, and the Tigers are in action out at the 30-yard line.
McNeil looking for a home run pass on 1st and 10 for the 31, but that will go sail over the intended receiver, and it brings up 2nd and 10. McNeil now, he is 3 for 7 for 100 yards. He was 3 for his first 3. He's 0 for his last 4 now, as Josh Rouse is in coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 31. 4:58 to play here in the 7-7 tie in the first half.
Yeah, and the Governors ask a lot of Josh Rouse. He plays that kind of combo position, both kind of a combo linebacker safety position, and so he not only is a linebacker in coverage, but will come out and play that kind of safety position, and will be asked to cover receivers going downfield.
Tyson Lead will get the pitch as he gets out to about the 39-yard line, but 2 flags come flying in right around one of the blocks. That will probably be a block in the back by the Tigers. And it'll bring up 2nd and very long. As Simmonswell will get the holding call on him, and it'll back him up 10 yards, so it'll be 2nd and long as they are going back in their own end again on the Huron Tigers. One team is shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. The other is shooting themselves in the foot in their own red zone with turnovers.
Yeah, and as the flags came down and on the way back to the huddle, you could see Derek Simmonsma, the Huron tight end, had a quick conversation with one of the officials. He was the guilty party on the play and just wanted some clarification on what he did.
2nd and 23 from their own 18-yard line. McNeil will throw to the flat. The catch is going to be made. One man is missed and be wrapped up and thrown down. Jaden Beck makes the catch as Josh Rouse was there to make the catch. As Hot that Jay Sarda makes the catch, or just makes the tackle for the Governors.
Yeah, just a swing pass out on the far side. A nice, easy completion for McNeil to Hot over on the far side, but nice play from Chase Sarda. And what you're really trying to do is just not give up that big home run play. And I think that the Tigers are trying to put themselves into a more of a third manageable, and nice play by Sarda to really keep that under control for the Governors.
It's 3rd and 20 from the 21-yard line as McNeil will look to pass. Coming from the edge, the throw is behind the intended receiver, and it falls incomplete. And that was probably the better spot to be missing your receiver, because there was about 3 Governors that were in front of the intended receiver for the Huron Tigers. This is Max Kranzler, and it will be another 3 and out from the Huron Tigers. And McNeil, who started out 3 for 3 and for 100 yards, he's 1 for his last 1 for his last 6 and for just 5 yards.
Yeah, and nice coverage by Cord Ellis on the play. We haven't called his name tonight, but nice coverage out of the defensive backfield by Ellis. And now the Tigers are in punt formation. We'll see if the Governors can get a return on this play.
As it is a punt again, it'll be taken by Lewis, but he is sliding in to make the catch. But again, that's going to stop it at the Huron 48-yard line. So that's one you'll take. If you make that catch, you don't get any more yards, but at least the ball didn't keep hopping away from you. And it's now only have to go 48 yards to the end zone instead of the 50-plus.
Yeah, Lewis came up. The ball did not get a lot of air under it on the punt and didn't get a lot of hang time. So Lewis actually had to come up, called for the fair catch as he was coming up, and the ball actually was falling short. He actually went to a knee to catch the ball. So wouldn't have resulted in anything other than the fact that the Governors were able to keep the ball from going downfield.
As Keno's throws, looking for a home run pass, and it'll fall incomplete, and it'll be 2nd and 10 as McNeil was there in coverage. As it's 2nd and 10 for the 48.
Yeah, just a go route for Lettler on the far sideline, and McNeil in good coverage, step for step with Lettler all the way down the field. Actually, it would have been a virtual miracle if Lettler was able to come down with that, because it would have been a 50-50 jump ball, and McNeil just had position on him on Lettler.
Keno's will take it on a quarterback keeper as he'll fight through a couple of different blockers, and a flag comes in and it hits McGuire Rasky as he picks up a first down to the 36-yard line, picked up 12 yards, and a penalty flag, and we'll see what it is. I think McGuire Rasky, can't believe that's going to be against him, and the Governors, who had a first down, will have to go back it up now.
Offense, number 18, 10-yard penalty.
On Aaron Booth. Aaron Booth gets called for the hold. It's going to be second. It's not going to be very long on 2nd down, because they're only going to back it up 10 yards from the spot of the foul, not from the original line of scrimmage. So it's about 2nd and 13 here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we've seen the Governors play. This is their 5th game of the year, and they've not had a lot of penalties tonight. Unfortunately, a lot of laundry on the field.
3 receivers out to the left side. Keenels will throw in the flat for McGuire Rasky. He's hit immediately, but he spins off the tackler. He avoids another tackler. He's going to pick up several yards. He's going to pick up about 5 and make it 3rd and manageable here for the Governors as he gets to about the 46-yard line in the Huron territory.
Yeah, and again, I think that's one of the strengths of McGuire Rasky is that he does not go down on first contact. Just a swing pass out into the flat, had a Huron Tiger defender come up, shook him, then was able to make a second one miss before he was able to finally be brought down. And
another interception from Lincoln Keenels, overthrows his intended receiver. It's his 3rd interception of the game, and Huron will have the ball again at their own 25-yard line. As Keenels has now thrown 11 interceptions on the season, And that one just got away from him over the top of any intended receiver. I believe Bolwig was an intended receiver for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, Keenholz struggling just a little bit with his accuracy tonight. It's kind of a raw night. I mean, the temperature is in the 50s. I mean, it rained earlier today, so it's a little damp. And he's just struggling a little bit with his accuracy and good coverage most of the night for the Tigers out in the defensive backfield.
On the handoff on 1st and 10, it'll be Lean that will not get much of anything at the 25-yard line. Actually, maybe lose half a yard, but it's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. 2:15 to go here in the first half. 7-7 is our score as both teams scored on their second possession, but it's been either punt, or fumble, interception for the Governors. We've had 4 punts in a row from Huron and 4 turnovers in a row for the Pierre Governors. As it's 2nd and 10 from the 25 with under 2 to play here in the first half. McNeil in an empty backfield, 3 receivers out to the right side. He'll look to his right on the snap. He'll throw to his right. The catch is going to be made. Wide open was the intended receiver, and they're going to get out to about the 35-yard line, which is going to be enough for a first down. Hahn again makes the reception. And actually, they're going to say he was out of bounds at the 33-yard line, so it's 3rd and 2 now.
Yeah, just an out route for Hahn on the outside, and again, Huron putting 5 receivers into the pattern, but McNeil, I mean, is not throwing anything deep for the most part, and he's got a good enough arm that he can throw that long out route onto the far side of the field.
1:45 to play here in the first half. 3rd and 2 from the Huron 33. Man comes in motion. McNeil will fake it. He'll keep it himself. He's got enough for a first down as he gets past around the 39-yard line and past the 35. He ended up picking up about 7 yards, 6 yards to the 39-yard line, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Yeah, Huron came with a jet sweep motion for the first time tonight, and McNeil, instead of handing the ball to the receiver, coming on the jet sweep motion, who was coming towards the near sidelines, kept the ball, bootlegged around the far sideline, and was able to pick up the first down, and now we got a timeout.
Huron takes their second timeout with 1:41 to play here in the first half. The Governors will get the ball to start the second half, so that's the good thing out of all this is if Huron, even if they go down and score, the Governors will get the ball to start the second half to try and counter that end of the half score. But the Governors right now, defensively, again, this has been probably the best defensive game that the Governors have played so far this season, other than week 1 when they got the shutout against Sturgis. But the Governors who struggle a little bit against the pass, they've looked really good so far. But the offense right now is the one that's trying to catch up with everything else in this game.
Yeah, the Governors have done a nice job against the run. I mean, we've talked about Tyson Lean coming in as a very dangerous running back. I mean, he's a big, strong kid. And so far the Governors have done a nice job shutting him down and the rest of the Huron Tiger running attack down. Unfortunately, Huron's been able to convert a few passes through the air and been able to put that one 2-play drive alive on the big 83-yard touchdown pass from McNeil to Hott. Otherwise, the Governors have done a really good job, for the most part, containing the Huron offense tonight.
1st and 10 for the 39-yard line, 1:41 to play out of the timeouts here in the first half. McNeil again will fake it. He'll run the same play as McNeil. This time he's going to be wrapped up. He's going to be out of bounds. And he might lose a yard or so. He'll lose 2 yards back to the 3 yards back to the 36-yard line. So they try to run the exact same play, but this time the Governors are ready for us.
Yeah, like you said, John, just the exact same play, and McNeil kept the ball on the bootleg around the right side after the jet sweep motion, and this time the Governors were ready, and he actually lost 3 yards, and so now Huron is in 2nd and long, facing 2nd and 13 with 1:34 to go before halftime.
As an empty backfield, McNeil, he's flushed out of the pocket. He's going to try and escape it. He's going to look to throw. A hole's going to come in on the penalty flag. It's going to be a throw. No one is there. He is outside the. We'll see what the call is here, but it should be a hold on the Tigers, and that's going to push them back. Although they'll probably decline the penalty anyway, and it'll be 3rd down and long for the Tigers.
An interesting call for Steve Steele here on the hold. You put him into, and he is going to take the penalty. He's going to push him back into make it 2nd and 23, or actually it's going to go from the spot of the foul, so it'll actually be more like about 2nd and about 30.
And the Governors have 3 timeouts, so you say, well, you're going to try and run the ball and make it 3rd down in less than 30. We're going to take a timeout. You're going to try and run the ball again. We'll take another timeout. We're going to try and score here at the end of this, and the It's going to be a really long second down here for this Huron Tiger, as it's all the way back to the 26-yard line, 2nd and 23.
Governor's got to keep everything in front of them in the defensive backfield right now. You don't want a long play right before halftime. Don't want to get burned right here.
As they'll go play action, McNeil look for a screen pass. Another hole is going to come in. McGuire-Rasky couldn't make the first tackle, and it'll go towards the sideline. The lean trying to keep things moving, and Cordellis is able to pull him out of bounds. But another hole is going to come in, and now Steele's going to take this penalty too, because I guess it would still be 3rd and long. But I don't know. Yeah, it looks like Steele's going to decline the penalty now. It looks like.
Yeah, and I think this is probably the right call if you decline the penalty because the screen pass only gained about 5 yards. So Huron would still be in. It'll be 3rd and
10-yard penalty. The penalty is declined. 3rd down.
It'll be 3rd and about 20. And so, like you said, John, with 1:15 left before halftime, Huron has the ball at their own 30-yard line. Pierre with 3 timeouts. You just gotta keep the Tigers from converting right here. If they can do that, they should get the ball back in pretty good field position with an ability to put points on the board right before halftime.
And it saves a timeout, too, because the lead was pushed out of bounds. So 3rd and 19 here. As McNeil will keep it, he's wrapped up in the backfield. As the first man to get to him was Jace Beestrom. And that will be a timeout for Coach Steele as he goes all the way back to the 25. So a loss of 5, and it's 4th and 24. And it'll be another punt for the Huron Tigers. And the Governors have 2 timeouts to work with 1:11 left to play here in the first half.
Yeah, just that same jet sweep motion bootleg, only this time McNeil coming towards the near sideline, coming toward us in the press box, wrapped up by a host of Governors. And so the Governors should get the ball in good field position. Again, right now, the Governor punt return team will have to show their mettle. I mean, this is going to be a big return right here. At the very least, you don't want that ball to hit the turf and bound into Governor territory. Ideally, what you like to do is get a nice return and set yourself up in a short field right here.
It'll be a punt coming out of this out of the timeout. Huron's at their own 25-yard line. They got to go all the way to the 49. So this punt, there's a chance that the Governors can get this punt past the 49-yard line of Huron and have it where Huron had to go for a first down. So this should be a good field position, like Greg said, for the Pierre Governors. With 1:11 left to go, they still have 2 timeouts. And even with 2 timeouts, you could start off the drive with the run, and still with 1:11 and how fast the offense is, a run's not going to be a bad thing, even if it goes for nothing. As they will kick it away. Both Lewis and Muraski are back deep again for the Governors. On a high snap and the punt, a line drive punt. Lewis will call for a fair catch. It goes off of his hands. Lewis got to get over to it, and he will grab onto the ball. That was a line drive kick that Lewis came in. He called for the fair catch, went right through his hands, and went all the way back now. And the Governors are not going to have the good field position. It's going to go all the way back to the 33-yard line. The Governors have a long way to go here. The 1:02 left to play in this first half.
Yeah, and sometimes just like a line drive in baseball is the toughest thing to judge. That's exactly what happened right there. Just a line drive punt. Lewis just misjudged it just a little bit, came up just a little too far. Actually had to jump and try to catch the ball over his head. And when he did, it went through his hands. And luckily for the Governors, Lewis was able to scramble and get back on the ball at the 33-yard line because he had a Huron Tiger defender right on top of him.
1st and 10 from their own 33, 1:02 to play here in the first half. Empty backfield here for Lincoln Keenholz. He's thrown 3 interceptions so far here in the ball game. Keenholz with an empty backfield throws. The catch is made by Bullwig. He stiff arms one man. He gets out of bounds as he'll get to the 46-yard line, a gain of 13. And a good start there for the Governors on this drive as the clock will stop as well.
And that's a nice play call by Steve Steele to just kind of get Lincoln Keenholz a little confidence after throwing those 3 interceptions here in the first half. Just a safe route for his most reliable receiver, Reagan Bullwig, coming on an out route to the near sideline. And the Governors are in business here late in the first half.
1st and 10 for the 46. Bullwig will make the catch. He does not get out of bounds. He'll get to the 50-yard line, a gain of 4. He's got to make the last 2 catches. And it's 2nd and 6. As the Governors have to go pretty quick here. 42, 41, 40 from their own from the 50-yard line. Rasky is in the backfield here with Lincoln Keenels on 2nd and 6. Keenels will step up. He's got a room to run. He'll pick him up first down. He's inside the 30 to the 25, where he's going to go down, as it's a big gain of 25 for Lincoln Keenels in his 1st and 10 here for the Pierre Governors.
And if Ryan Janes, the middle linebacker for the Huron Tigers, doesn't make that tackle, Lincoln Keenholz is off to the races and hits pay dirt here late in the first half.
1st and 10 for the 25. Governors haven't taken one of their 2 timeouts yet. Says Keenholz will look to pass here. Throws over the middle. The catch is not going to be caught by Matt Hansen as he bumped into the defender, as it was for the Huron Tigers. Cade McNeil that was in coverage. He didn't see the ball coming. Hansen ran into McNeil, but there is no flag, and it's now 2nd and 10 for the 25.
Yeah, and that's one of those calls that could go either way. I mean, it ends up being a no call, but Matt Hansen just on a short post route over the middle and ran into McNeil, and in the official's judgment, the McNeil bump did not impede him long enough to cause an issue.
Throw over the middle. Bullwig makes the catch. He's inside the 10-yard line. It's now 1st down, and the Governors will probably take one of their last 2 timeouts, and it will be a timeout as it'll go to about the 9-yard line. A gain of 16 for Reagan Bullwig. He's got all 3 passes so far in this drive.
And just a post route for Bullwig, and again found a seam in the middle and found some open space and just a nice pass from Keenholz to hit him in stride, and then he was immediately wrapped up by about 3 Huron Tigers. The upside for the Governors, they've got 1 timeout left. They're at the 8-yard line, but in terms of field placement, in terms of where the ball is placed, it's right now right in the middle of the field. With 12 seconds to go right before halftime, the Governors have a timeout. They could take at least 1 shot into the end zone here, see if they can get a TD out of this play. If not, you probably think that with this ball right in the middle of the field at the 8-yard line, we'd probably see a Carson Miller field goal attempt.
And with 1 timeout left, it's 1st and goal from the 8. You love your offensive line. Maybe you hand it off to McGuire Rasky, and because if he doesn't get in, you can stop the clock one more time. It's probably not going to take 12 seconds to do, but you can run it one more time, and depending on how much time is left, you can maybe throw in the end zone again before you maybe taking a field goal. But it looks like Rasky's not going to line up in the backfield with Lincoln Keenholz, but still, just a thought that's out there because of how Rasky is.
Something we saw a lot of in the last couple of years is that quarterback draw that Garrett Stout liked to run a lot. We haven't seen a lot of that out of Lincoln Keenholz, but maybe this is the time.
1st and goal from the 8. They're going to look to pass. Keenholz will throw over the middle and double coverage. It falls incomplete, and it's now 2nd and goal from the 8 with 8 seconds to go. It only took 4 seconds off the clock, so you could go one more time, but that was a dangerous pass there from Keenholz. This is where you don't want to turn the ball over. You didn't win the last 4 positions. You want to turn the ball over here with 8 seconds to play.
And again, Huron dropping 7. Had Matt Hansen double covered in the middle of the field, and Keenholz tried to wedge that ball in there, and luckily for the Governors, it just fell incomplete.
Empty backfield again here for the Governors on 2nd and goal for the 8. Throw over the middle for Bullwig. The catch is made by Bullwig as he slides in for a touchdown, and the Governors, with 3 seconds to go, have their first lead of the game with 13-7.
Yeah, just a post route, just a crossing route. Bullwig from the tight end position on the far side, and he was able to get in front of the defender, and that's a tough play to try to defend Reagan Bullwig, as big as he is in the middle of the field, and just a nice easy pass from Keenholz. Touchdown Governors.
Carson Miller on for the extra point to try and make it 14-7 for Pierre, as Miller's kick is up and good. It is 14-7 with 3 seconds to go. We'll keep it here on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. You are listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station. A 7-play drive for the Pierre Governors that went a little bit farther than what they thought they were going to have to do, as it went to nearly 70 yards on that drive, 67 yards to be in fact. But that 8-yard pass from Keenholz to Bullwig gives them a 14-7 lead, and as long as they don't give up this kickoff for a touchdown, the Governors have a chance to go 2 for 1 here at the start of the second half.
Yeah, and that would be a big, and we've seen a lot of that strategy used by Steve Steele to defer and then get the ball right away at the beginning of the second half. And if the Governors can take advantage and use that first possession of the second half, they could put a little distance between themselves and the Huron Tigers. Very scrappy Huron Tiger team. I mean, this is like I said, a rivalry game, and both sides are bringing their A game tonight.
Yeah, Coach Spain, and Steele kind of echoed that a little bit. If we're going to see the Huron Tigers of Week 1, we're in for a dogfight. If we see the Huron Tigers they saw on film against the Sturgis Scoopers last week, they're going to roll right over them. And Huron has brought that Week 1 team here to Pierre, and they've been ready to play. It's just a 14-7 game with 3 seconds to play in the first half. Karsten Miller, we'll see if this one will be more of a squib kick. It's a line drive. It'll be was not fielded off the hop. So now the Tide will pick it up, and they got to try and run anywhere with it, and it will go nowhere as they'll get maybe the 5-yard line, but that will do it for the first half. The Governors will take a 7-point lead in the half, and we'll see how the Governors can do in the second half, but they got to feel pretty good going into the halftime locker room right now, considering where they could be at compared to where they're at right now.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the Governors had multiple opportunities to put multiple scores on the board. They turned the ball over at the 1-yard line. They had an opportunity here in the second quarter where they were inside the red zone. A penalty took them out of the red zone, threw an interception on the next play. So the Governors have been the better team in the first half tonight. Unfortunately, on the scoreboard, it's only a 1-score game right now.
It is a 14-7 lead for Pierre at half. Back in 3 minutes with halftime stats. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, 14-7 is our score at the break. Governors lead by 7. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, when you look at the discrepancy of stats, we'll run down through some of the stats. 306 yards to 127 in favor of the Pierre Governors, which when you're gaining someone by almost 200 yards, you think, well, it shouldn't be a one-possession game. But because the Governors have 4 turnovers, one that happened at their own 1-yard line, and 3 interceptions with 2 of them inside the red zone, another third one that was going to be inside the red zone, the Governors have got to figure out how to score and finish off drives here in the second half.
And remember, of those 127 yards that Huron has, 83 came on one play. So really that discrepancy, for all but about 23 minutes and 48 seconds of the first half is even bigger. So the Governor defense has done the job tonight. I mean, they've done a good job. They've bottled up Tyson Lean, who's come in averaging nearly 7.5 yards a rush, almost 400 yards rushing. They've really done a nice job bottling him up. They've done a pretty good job in terms of getting some pressure on Cade McNeil. That was going to be a real key in my mind, in terms of not letting him get comfortable in the pocket. And then unfortunately for Huron, Jaden Beck, their second running back, hobbled with an ankle injury. He is back in the game, but I'm not sure he's running at 100%. So the Governor defense has done their job. Unfortunately, the offense, 3 interceptions and the fumble, and so 4 turnovers for the Governors has really stymied them. And even though they've done a nice job moving up and down the field, only 14 points to show for it.
As we look through some of the stats and to kind of bounce off what Greg said about Tyson Lean, who's averaging 7 yards a carry, he's got 6 yards on 7 carries here in the first half. Beck had the 32-yard run on his only carry. McNeil's got negative 28 yards, so they have just 10 yards in total of rushing attack in this first half. And Cade McNeil is 6 of 11 for 117 yards and a touchdown pass. That was his second touchdown pass. He started 3 for 3 for 100 yards. He finished was at 3 for his last 9 to finish out the day, or finish out the first half. 3 for his last 8, and only threw for 17 yards. So the Governors, after that first drive, or the second drive that they were able to score, did Huron, they have really, really figured it out for that pass rush. And then Colby Hott's got 2 catches for 5, or excuse me, 1 catch for 5 yards. Carter Hott's got 3 catches for 96. Fitzer a catch for 6, and Lean a catch for 4. For the Pierre Governors, McGuire Raskey's got 69 yards on 14 carries. Lincoln Keno 72 yards on 7 carries and a fumble loss. And he is 10 for 21 for 165 yards, 2 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions. Bowling's got 5 catches for 2 touchdowns, 88 yards in total. McGuire Raskey with 4 catches for 83 yards, and Aaron Booth a catch for 10 yards to round out the offense for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, and so the Governors are moving the ball. I mean, the offense is clicking tonight. The defense is clicking tonight. Right now, the Governors are just kind of shooting themselves in the foot. The 4 turnovers and some untimely penalties, and so I think if you're Steve Steele right now, maybe some of that is the fact that we heard him use the term "shaking some rust off" in the pregame interview, and that may be part of the deal tonight for the Governors after having had some guys out last week. Reintegrating them back into the lineup this week, getting some real-time action in practice, maybe might be just a little bit rusty tonight. In some key situations, Governors are not doing the jobs that they need to do, and so you think that's going to get corrected at halftime. We'll see what happens when they come out. They will get the ball to start the second half.
It is a 14-7 lead here for the Pierre Governors at the break. We'll step aside for 3 minutes, come back with more of the halftime show. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, it is a 14-7 lead for the Pierre Governors at the break. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean.
Score updates from across the state. At halftime, Yankton leads Sturgis 10-3. Late in the second quarter, probably the game of the night in AA, Mitchell leads Brookings 19-14. Rapid City Central at half Rapid City Stevens leads Rapid City Central at the half 21-12. The first final of the night, Sioux Falls O'Gorman beat Sioux Falls Washington 31-7. Brandon Valley leads Sioux Falls Lincoln 17-14 at the half. Sully Buttes in scores around the area. Sully Buttes leads North Border 14-0 at halftime. Madison at the end of the first quarter all over Miller Highmore Herald 33-0. Winner up big over Chamberlain 46-7, that game at the half. And Phillip leads Jones County White River 31-14, that game also at the half.
As they get at 14-7 here between the Pierre Governors and the Huron Tigers. Greg, as we get started, get closer to the start of the second half, what's going to change here for the Governors to not necessarily run away with this, but to ensure they get a win here in the second half?
Well, they got to stop making mistakes. They got to stop making mistakes at key times, and I think that's those are teachable moments, and I think that's what's happening in the locker room right now. As Steve Steele is and the rest of the coaching staff are saying, listen, guys, we just got to clean up. And what we're doing a lot of good things. I mean, so we can't overreact because we've already put 300 yards of offense on the board tonight. So we're doing a lot of good things. We just got to finish off drives. And so what happens is with Huron consistently dropping 7 guys back into coverage, if Pierre runs 5 guys out into the pattern, you got 12 guys out, and as that field gets shorter, the closer you get to the end zone, that's a lot of bodies. And so Pierre's just got to be a little better in the red zone. They got to be a little smarter. Limit the penalties, and when they do, as long as they continue to play good, solid defense, they should win this second half and should win the ball game.
Governors lead 14-7 here at the break. We'll step aside for 3 minutes and have the second half for you after this. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, the Governors and the Huron Tigers as we get set for the starts of the second half. The Governors, they lead by 7. They get the ball to start the second half, and Joe McClure alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, they've for the Governors, really, this is an all-important drive to score and to open that lead up to a good 2-score lead.
Yeah, and again, I mean, the Governors have done a lot of things right. I mean, I certainly don't want to be critical because they've done a lot of things right. It's just when they've made mistakes, they've made them at crucial times, and so now you just got to clean that up. And again, I look at this Huron roster, and they've had a couple of guys go down with either some injuries or some kind of nagging kind of stuff. It's a pretty thin roster. Only 30 is listed on the roster. I didn't count how many are actually suited up tonight, but you got a lot of guys going both ways. And so, hopefully, the Governors like to use that quick strike offense. I mean, they don't give you a lot of chance to rest because it's right to the line, call the play at the line. And so they like to run a lot of plays. And so you got to wonder if conditioning doesn't become a factor here in the second half.
And again, the Governors will get the ball to start the second half, and hopefully they can take advantage of that conditioning for the Huron Tigers, or just at least wear them down to put up some more points. 14-7 here at the break, as Huron will have to kick the ball away to start the second half after the Governors won the toss, elected to defer to the second half, and they scored 3 seconds left to go in the first half to take that 7-point lead, and now they have an opportunity to extend that before Huron's offense come back down the field. They had the ensuing kickoff, but it led to just being tackled, and that was it. So now here, as we start this third quarter, the Governors can score before the Tiger offense can get back on the field.
And before we start the second half tonight, I want to give a quick shout out to my brother and sister-in-law listening in Mequon, Wisconsin tonight. We got, last year we had to give the shout out to Granny Sally down in Texas for Grandma Garrett Stout's grandma. So tonight I'll give the shout out to my brother living in Wisconsin via today's KCCR.com.
As the kickoff is going to be played by McGuire Rasky at the 25 to the 30, right up the middle. 35 knocked down right around the 39-40 yard line. So we say hello to those listening in Wisconsin, those listening in South Dakota, and of course always saying welcome to Greg's family.
Absolutely.
As it is 1st and 10 from at the 40 yard line, as the Pierre Governors will have that possession with 4 seconds off the clock to start this third quarter. And again, here for the Pierre Governors, this is a all-important drive to extend that lead to 2 possessions and start to make the Huron Tigers maybe doubt that they can win this ball game, because right now, 1 stop and 1 score, and it's back to an even football game. 3 receivers out to the right side for Lincoln Keenels. 4 down linemen for the Huron Tigers. Quick throw to the right side. The catch is bobbled and dropped, and it will fall incomplete, as it was for Zach Lettler, and that's a rare drop from the senior.
Yeah, just that bubble screen out there where the Governors put 3 receivers on the far side of the field. Lettler takes 1 step up, comes back actually to the line of scrimmage, and he's got 2 blockers right in front of him. And unfortunately, the ball landed right in his midsection and bounced out, and so falls incomplete. So the Governors will now go 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 for the 40. Little pitch to the right side for McGuire Rasky. He'll go outside the tackle. A flag's going to go flying in, and Rasky's going to go all the way to the 50-yard line. That was a hard throw from the umpire all the way in the back judge, and he didn't even make it there. It ended up hitting the Pierre Governor. It's going to be on the Governors, as it's would have been enough for a first down for McGuire Rasky, but aired out the penalty flag, letting it go like a center fielder, and it's going to be a hold on Colin Bergman, and it'll be a 10-yard penalty from that line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 2nd and 20, and that's not how the Governors were hoping to start this drive, as they go all the way back to their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, and just that quick pitch out to the far side of the field, out to Rasky, and he had a convoy out in front of him, but unfortunately a hold out in front in the middle of that pile, and so that play will come back. The Governors are now facing 2nd and long back at their own 30.
So 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Empty backfield here for Lincoln Keenels on 2nd and 20. Keenels will pump fake, now steps up. He's going to run to pass the 35, and he's going to be brought down by 3 different Tiger players.
Down the field for a gain of about 8
as
yards.
it'll be a gain of 8.
Derek Simmonsma, one of the leading tacklers for the Tigers, comes up a little slow, holding a wrist, and he is in obvious pain. He's going to stay in the game, but again, this Huron Tiger team is kind of getting beat up, and like I said, they don't got a lot of extra bodies over on that far sideline.
3rd and 13 for the 37. It was a gain of 7 for Lincoln Keenholz. The throw, Rasky makes the catch. He's got a couple of blockers, but he's the one that was missed is going to get to him. And it's going to bring up 4th down as he gets to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, just a swing pass out to the far side, and kind of trying to put the burden on Rasky's shoulders, and he was able to make the first guy miss, but he ran into 2 Huron Tigers after that, and they bottled him up about 6 yards short of the first down, and so the Governors are going to be forced to punt here early on in the third quarter.
Lincoln Keenholz was the punter last week, only had to be used once, and he'll punt the ball away here for the Governors this time. And on a spiraling punt, calling for a fair catch, and the catch is made on a sliding grab, and it will be 1st and 10 to around the 27-yard line here for the Huron Tigers. And the Tigers, they get that stop, and now all of a sudden a score, and you're back to a tie ball game.
Yeah, and again, you really don't need to make a whole lot of adjustments on the defensive side of the ball because other than the long touchdown pass, the Governors have done a really nice job defensively. So as long as they can continue to get pressure, and the Tigers are going to start with 4 wide receivers on the first play right here. We'll see if they can get pressure. If they can, they just do a nice job of disrupting that Huron Tiger passing game.
Cordellis comes on late, but he's able to get himself set. Throw, looking for a home run ball. It's going to be caught on the far side, past the 50-yard line into Governor territory to the 43-yard line. As the catch was made by Fitzer, and the tackle was made by McGuire Rasky. Excuse me, by Jaden Wiebe.
Yeah, just a go route on the far sideline, and again, McNeil had time, was able to sit in the pocket and got one-on-one coverage out there from Wiebe, and Fitzer was able to haul in the ball, and the Tigers are operating here early in the second quarter.
A flag comes in right at the snap, and a loss all the way back to the 46-yard line. Loss about 3. And we'll see what the flag is. Preston Taylor got to him first.
Flag on the play.
And usually that is a sign that it's going to be on the Huron Tigers.
Flag came in from the side judge, so we'll see what the call is.
And it's going to be a decline. They looked at the Huron Tiger sign, the sideline, saying you want to decline it.
On the offense, penalty is declined, 2nd down.
Illegal shift.
And they looked at the Tigers, and why would they want to decline that penalty? They lost 3 yards back there. So it's got a loss of 3 on the even off the penalty. The Tigers unable to get anything moving. So 2nd and 13 from the Governor 46. McNeil back to pass. He's going to be flushed out of the pocket, rolling to his right. Bullwick's chasing him down. McNeil's just going to throw it away. It's going to fall incomplete, and it's 3rd down. And a flag comes in. Bullwick will get a late hit on McNeil.
Yeah, and again, just a bad penalty on the Governors. I mean, not a bad call, but just a bad penalty on the Governors because McNeil was totally flushed out of the pocket, was not going to have any play on that there, and now Bullwick will get hit with a roughing the passer penalty.
So it's going to be an automatic 1st down on a 15-yard penalty. And it's 1st and 10 inside the 35-yard line. So it's a 1st down here for Pierre.
Yeah, McNeil got flushed out of the pocket and actually was running for his life, and literally was about to run out of real estate here on the near sideline, and he literally was just trying to throw the ball away, underthrew his intended receiver by about 5 yards, and Bullwick, just unfortunately too late with the hit, and because of that, the Tigers are now operating with that 15-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
1st and 10 for the 31, and McNeil throws it left side. The catch is going to be made over there in the flat and out of bounds. And then a flag will come in late as one of the Governors got hit late. Lean made the catch. He got to around the 22-yard line. It was a gain of 9. And this is a penalty after the play, so it should be second down, whatever the penalty is going to be. If it's on Huron, it'll be second down.
Yeah, one of the governors went to the ground clearly after the whistle had blown, and so this looks like probably an unsportsmanlike conduct would be my guess, and I think it's against Ethan Remington, the 5'10", 200-pound junior center.
First foul, offense, number 77, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play.
Tristan Cardona that will get called for it, so it'll be a 15-yard penalty, and I don't know, did you say first down or did you say second down?
I'm going to wait and see what the down marker does.
Because it'll back him up 15 yards. So it was a 9-yard catch. And
Take the ball back to the 37-yard line.
And they're going to make it 1st and 16. So the play it'll be a first down. Now they're going to talk about it again here. Was it after the play or right at the end of the play? If it happened during the play, it's still first down. If it happened after the play, it's a second down.
That's what I was going to say. I thought it was a dead ball foul because the governor player that the infraction was against clearly hit the ground after the whistle had blown. So it's a dead ball penalty. So it is second down and 16.
So it was a gain of 9. Now it's 2nd and 16 as they back it up to the 37-yard line. McNeil is going to roll to his right, miss at one tackler, gets tripped up, and he's going to go down, throws it away. It's going to be incomplete. And there's going to fall incomplete, and it's not going to be intentional grounding as Tyson Lean is standing right there in the area.
Well, I think the question and what the Pierre sideline is looking for clarification on is there was about 3 governors that had hands on McNeil as he was going to the ground and threw the ball, and so to me, I'm not so sure it was so much of an intentional grounding call as it was a potential not necessarily that he was in the grasp, but the play was over because he was totally in the control of at least a couple of governors, at least in my opinion, my very biased opinion.
So it's 3rd and 16 for the 37. I've never seen you have a biased opinion in your life. 9:06 to play here in the third quarter. Huron trails 14-7. McNeil, he'll go back to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket again, rolling to his left. He's going to try and throw. He might have been past the line of scrimmage. He's going to throw for the end zone, and it's blocked away. And a great job in coverage. And we'll see if maybe and it's going to be 4th down no matter what. And I think Steele is going to argue, but at this point, it doesn't really matter because it can be 4th and 16.
Yeah, and great coverage, great recovery by Cord Ellis there at the very tail end of the play as he was able to close on the Huron receiver in the corner of the end zone. But I think Steve Steele had a case. He was pleading his case to the umpire in the middle of the field because from up here it looked like Cade McNeil was just about a foot short of the Huron 35-yard line. The down marker is actually at the 37. So I think he, again, in my very unbiased opinion, I think he was past the line of scrimmage when he made that throw.
And I guess, that would have backed him up 5 yards to be 4th and 21. And now the Governors jump. Preston Taylor will jump. And it's going to be 4th down and 11 instead of 4th and 16. And now they're going to talk about it, unless they're going to say it's going to be a false start. And it was a encroachment penalty, and it's now 4th and 11. So they pick up those 5 yards, and boy, would that 5 yard be different now. It'd be back to 4th and 16 instead of 4th and 11 from the 32. So this is much more manageable. Still a long way to go to get to the 21-yard line, but it's still 4th and 11 from the 32 with 8:57 to play in the third quarter. McNeil from the shotgun. 2 receivers on each side. He'll look to pass as he takes the snap. He'll throw into the corner looking for a receiver, and it falls incomplete. And it will fall right through the hand.
The middle, and right now the Huron Tiger defensive line is doing a nice job coming out of the locker room and neutralizing that Pierre Governor offensive line right now.
8:18 to play here in the third quarter. 2nd and 6 from the 36. Actually, 2nd and 7 from the 35 as the 3 receivers here the near side. Empty backfield here for Keno's throws. Lettler make the catch on the screen pass. He'll get past the 40-yard line to about the 41 as he'll pick up 5 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and a long 2 here for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, just that bubble screen out here on the near side that they ran in that first drive, just the quick hitch route to Lettler. He's got 2 blockers in front of him with that 3 wide set out here, and Lettler makes the catch, turns it immediately upfield, and was able to get about 7 yards out of the play.
3rd and 1 as McGuire Rasky gets the handoff up the middle. He's got a first down past the 45, and he'll be brought down to 48. A gain of 7 for McGuire Rasky on that 3rd and 1. And that's a big 3rd down conversion for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, and what McGuire Rasky did very, very nicely right there was he saw right away from the snap that the offensive line had gotten a nice
up at the line, but he's able still to fall forward. And he'll get past the 50-yard line to the now Huron 48, a gain of 4. And it's 2nd and around 6 here for the Governors.
Yeah, and the right side of that Governor offensive line is doing a very nice job right now. Brady Getz over at that right tackle position, Houston Lundy at the right guard position. They are doing a nice job in opening some holes for the running game over there.
2nd and 6, pitch to the right side for McGuire Rasky on the option. He'll get past the tackle out to the 40-yard line. It's going to be enough for a first down. A gain of about 8 for McGuire Rasky. And they'll keep moving the chains here for the Governors with 6:44 to play, all the way down to 39.
One of the first times we've seen option action from the Governors tonight. And Tyson Lean came shooting in from his defensive end position for the Tigers and took Keenholz out. And then it was just an easy pitch for Rasky. He got around the edge and got 8 yards out of the play.
As McGuire Rasky again gets the handoff, he's out to the 35-yard line, a gain of 4 for the senior. He's up to 95 yards on 19 carries for McGuire Rasky, but still no touchdowns on the ground. No touchdowns at all here for McGuire Rasky yet.
Yeah, and again, just we saw the McGuire Rasky show last week with the 6 touchdowns on the ground. Kind of a little different dose of it tonight. He's carrying the bulk of the work for the Governors, making some hard yardage out of sometimes where there isn't a whole lot to be had.
Huron jumps on the clap from Lincoln Keenholz, and one of the offensive linemen fell over, as I believe it was Jacob Larson that just got hit and fell over. And how he fell over, look, he just got pushed, and he didn't go out of position. He just let himself fall, let the big guy fall. And it's now going to be 2nd and 1 for the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and Jake Larson's no small young man at 6 foot, 220 pounds, and so to push him over is a little bit of a feat.
So it's 2nd and 1 here from the 30. As that snap goes past Keenholz, he's going to go over for it. He'll dive on top of it, but now it's 3rd and long. And went right through his hands, and he goes all the way back to about the 44-yard line, a loss of 14, and it's 3rd and 15 now here for the Governors.
Yeah, and not it won't go down as a turnover, but again, just something you won't see in the scorebook other than the fact that just kind of a mental mistake. Maybe took eye off the ball before the snap got all the way back and corralled, and so again, Governors hopefully have not shot themselves in the foot here with 3rd and long.
Lincoln Keenholz will roll to his right. He'll throw. That one, Bullwig, was too low for him, and it'll fall incomplete. And it's now 4th down. And Coach Steele will have to go out and use the punting unit. And that's, again, tough here for the Pierre Governors. Time to punt the ball away again. And they had 3rd and 1. Or excuse me, 2nd and 1. And it ends up being 4th and 15.
Yeah, and again, Governors are moving the ball. It just, they make bad mistakes at crucial times, and that's what is keeping them out of the end zone right now.
So Keenholz will go back to punts as he'll get this one away. Almost got hit as it will be taken by the Tigers at around the 20-yard line. And it'll be around the 21 Kranzler for the Huron Tigers, and it'll be 1st and 10 after the 2nd punt of the game from the Pierre Governors.
And again, now the burden comes back onto that Pierre Governor defensive unit, the green and black. Didn't talk about each team tonight. Governors wearing the black uniforms, black tops, green pants, white numbers. Huron, all white uniforms, orange numbers, black helmets tonight.
1st and 10 for the 21, 4:57 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Still 14-7 for the Governors. Quick throw on a slant route. That one is high over the intended receiver. It'll fall incomplete. That was for Max Kranzler, the 6-foot junior.
Yeah, Governors only rushed 3 that time, dropped 8 into coverage. Nice coverage by Tristan Curry with Kranzler, man-to-man coverage. Kranzler coming across from his wide receiver position on the far side of the field, just on a post route, and Curry with him step for step all the way across the field and in good coverage and broke up the pass.
Second and 10 from the 21, 4:53 to play here in the third quarter. 14-7, the Governors lead. No scoring so far here in the third quarter. Trips to the right side, bunched up as McNeil looked to that right side, throw the flat. The catch is going to be made as it was floating in the air. A big hit is laid by Jake Mayer as third down here. And Lincoln Keno saying that the ball was fumbled. And maybe if the ball was fumbled, the Governors are going to have possession. Mayer with the big hit. Referees are talking about it. Fitzer made the catch. Then he dropped it.
There is a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
And one of the, well, looks like maybe the Huron Tiger, one of the Huron Tiger players down.
Well, there's a lot to unpack in this in this play. We got a potential turnover. We got a penalty.
So we'll see exactly what this penalty is going to be. And it was a very hard hit from Carter Hott was the one that made the catch, not Fitzer, as Carter Hott is still down. Jake Mayer was the one that made the hits. The ball came out. And again, all the Governors are kind of huddled up. The benches or the sideline is right there in front of where we're trying to look at to see this player down here for the Huron Tigers. See what the official has to say. It's going to be a hold on Huron. But he will not make that play yet. So Hott will get up and he'll walk off the field under his own power.
Yeah, he took a big hit from Jake Mayer. Jake Mayer, certainly one to keep your eye on. 5'11", 145-pound sophomore, getting another start tonight at the cornerback position and really playing well tonight for the Governors.
So we'll see here what the call is. They were talking with Steele about what they wanted to do.
We got holding on the offense, number 51, 10-yard penalty for the second down.
Kretschmar has the penalty, and it'll push him back 10 yards. They'll accept the penalty, so it'll still remain second down. So there was no penalty on the hit at all, and the Tigers were able to pick up. If the ball was dropped before it was a tackle, it was picked up by the Tigers. But Huron still has possession, and it's second down and very long here as they'll be pushed all the way back to around their own 11-yard line. So 2nd and 20. They actually have the 10-yard line. 2nd and 21 here. 4:45 to play. Two guys in the backfield here with McNeil. Two receivers out to the right side. Man goes in motion, and they'll hand off right up the middle, and busting through is Tyson Lean. He'll get to the 30-yard line. They needed to get to the 31, so it picks up 20 yards, and it's 3rd and 1 now here for Tyson Lean, who got his first big run of the game for the Huron Tigers.
Yeah, and just a quick hitter right up the middle, and something that Huron has been trying to do all night with Lean, and finally after probing the middle of that line time and time again, they finally were able to pop one, and thankfully the Governors were able to get him on the ground just before the first down marker.
First down here for Tyson Lean as he's able to fight forward to the 36. He picked up 6 yards. He needed just 1. And it's a first down here for Tyson Lean. And we have another injured Huron Tiger. And again, this Tiger team is going to be Tyson Lean that's down. And so for the Huron Tigers, some of their bigger name guys, their skill position guys are the ones that are starting to get hurt. And maybe the fatigue factor here late in this third quarter, because we got 4:02 left to play, and we're just about getting to the 9 o'clock hour. This has been a long football game in terms of from when we started at 7 o'clock to almost having 2 hours for 3 quarters. And that wears on whether you realize it or not, that wears when a game is this long in terms of actual time being played.
Yeah, and Lean is in some discomfort. He is rolling around on the ground. I mean, the upside is that he does have movement of all of his extremities. That's always one of the first things that you look for, and it looks like with a little assistance he's being helped into a sitting position, and now he's trying to get up on his own, but he tried once and is going right back down to the ground. So he's definitely a little woozy, and now he's being assisted up, and he's gonna jog off under his own power, but he's gonna have to come off at least for a play, and it looks like he had to go back for his mouth guard. You don't want to lose that.
No. With all the COVID stuff that they have, they pretty much said, we can't pick that up for you and bring it with you. You got to come pick it back up. And I wonder if he'll go the way he kind of was. Maybe he'll get checked out, make sure he goes through the concussion protocol and see if he's okay. But they lost Jaden Beck for a little bit, which is their other running back. He's back in the game. He came back to the game earlier, and he's in the backfield now for the Tigers because Tyson Lean and Jaden Beck are their workhorses in the backfield. Two receivers out to the right side. 3:50 to go and counting here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 from the 36 here on territory. McNeil fakes a pass, he'll run, and he's thrown down. Beck is thrown down immediately in the backfield. He's going to lose a couple of yards. Back to, this could be James, Ryan James that made had the carry, and it was Jace Beestrom. They got was the first man there, so a loss of 3.
Yeah, and with both of your starting running backs for Huron either out or hobbled, you got to wonder if maybe Coach Scott Spanton is going to have to dial up the air attack. I mean, they went 4 wide in that last set, and now they're going 3 wide here.
2nd and 13 from the 33. As McNeil will look to his left, he'll pump fake. Now he's going to throw, looking for the home run ball, and the catch is going to be made. Run the beat to 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Huron Tigers. And it's an extra point away from Max Kranzler, who goes all the way down for 67 yards. And the Huron Tigers an extra point away from tying up.
And just a stop and go route for Kranzler out on the far side, and McNeil really sold it with the pump fake, and the Governor defense bid on the pump fake, and when they did, then Kranzler just turned the jets on, and McNeil, we know that McNeil has a good arm, and he just hit Kranzler right in stride, and 67 yards later, it's a 14-13 ball game, possibly 14-14 if this extra point is good.
5-play drive though with a 67-yard pass, and the kick is up, and it is going to be no good. So the Huron Tigers now still trail 14-13 with 2:57 to play here in the third quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. (14-13). Governors lead by 1 off the missed extra point by Cardona. The Governors still have that 1-point lead, but it is imperative now to score to keep that distance and keep the lead here for the Pierre Governors. And again, if they score and get the extra point, then Huron's got to go for 2 to try and tie it up. And the way this game has been, both teams might score just one more time.
And again, Governor defense has done their job all night, save for those 2 long pass plays. They really have done a nice job, because really the only play of positive yardage beyond just a handful of yards was that 20-yard quick hitter up the middle on that last drive for Tyson Lean. So
as McGuire Rasky, Trey Lewis are back for the Pierre Governors. The Tigers, and we'll see the way the Tigers are playing. Thought maybe they're going to go for an onside kick, but it's going to go for McGuire Rasky to take at his own 15-yard line. He's out to the 25, the 30, big hole, but he closes up quickly as he gets to the 35. And the Governors have good field position here to open up their next drive. And again, they've scored just twice. They have punted the ball the first 2 possessions here this third quarter. They've got to find a way to put some points on the board. And it might start with another heavy dose of McGuire Rasky.
Yeah, and on the kick return, Governor Special Teams had a nice hole right up the middle. And once he got through the first line, I thought there was a chance that maybe he was that Rasky was going to break that one. But the kick return team the kick coverage team for the Tigers closed pretty quickly and were able to bottle him up.
Rasky slips through 2 tacklers. He's out to the 45-yard line, near the 45-yard line. He's going to go out as Rasky, along with Simmonsma, were a little tangled up there, but it's going to be a gain of 9 for McGuire Rasky, and it sets up second and a short one.
Yeah, and again, not the first time that Simmonsma and Rasky have gotten tangled up tonight, and you know they both come up talking to each other, probably exchanging addresses for Christmas cards would be my guess.
Right. As they have a little problem with the chains over here. The chain gang got to get the things untied here. Otherwise, they're going to have first and 9 or first and 8.5. The chain doesn't get untangled here.
Yeah, the play went out, and Simmonsma rode Rasky out right by the first down stick, and so when things went down, it looks like maybe the chain might have actually broke. They're actually trying to get some tape onto the chain the way it looks. We've seen the athletic trainer come out and work on bodies. I don't know that I've ever see the chain need assistance.
So it's now 2nd and 1 for the 44. McGuire Rasky with a handoff. He goes to the right side. He's got a first down. He has passed the 45, but he has hit hard. And it's going to be a 1st and 10 after a gain of about 3 to the 47-yard line. Maybe the 48. They're going to spot him at the 47, a gain of 3 for Rasky.
Yeah, and Rasky, even though that play probably was designed to go up the middle, immediately took it to the outside because he saw that the far side of the field, he'd gotten a seal out there and was able to get enough for the first down and get a couple more.
As his 1st and 10 from the 47, Lincoln Keenholz, the throw to Rasky on the flat. He'll sidestep one tackler. Flag will come in as Rasky will get past the 50-yard line, but that's in the vicinity of probably a hold by the Pierre Governors. I think what they taped was the actual stick itself. I think the stick broke a little bit, so they had to tape that one up. A little bit of some surgery on the field that happening for the stick.
Yeah, but we're glad to report the stick is back in action. Had to take a play off.
So we'll get called for a penalty. He'll stay 1st and 10. Didn't miss a play.
It's hardy. It's a gritty first down marker.
Talk about those sticks being football players. I'll tell you what. First, it's going to be 1st and very long here, all the way back to the 36-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and about 21 from the 36. Lost 11 yards on that penalty. As Keenholz will go up the middle on a design run. He'll get past the 40-yard line to about the 41 or 42. And he'll call it a gain of 5. And he'll bring up 2nd and about 16.
Yeah, and for Keenholz, again, that designed run, it's not really a true quarterback draw. It's more of just almost just you could call it a quarterback dive almost. I mean, it's just a snap back to him in the pistol formation, and then he just goes straight up the middle, no hesitation at all.
The 2nd and 15 here for the Governors. Keenholz will look to pass. He'll throw over the middle. The catch is going to be made, and a flag will come in late again at right at the line of scrimmage, right around the line, as they picked it up to a gain of 6, but another flag. It'll probably be on the Governors. There are 3 Governors around one Huron Tiger player. So the odds aren't in favor of the Governors to have it be on Huron.
Yeah, and we don't keep penalties up here, but the Governors are going to be, I suspect at the rate they're going right now, they're going to be well over 100 yards in penalties tonight.
So it's the previous spot where the foul was at. So it'll be 2nd and long again. They're going to go to about to the 32-yard line. So again, with 59 seconds left to go, it'll be 2nd and 25 now from the 32. With 59 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, the clock will continue to run. So the Governors, without having an incompletion, they could take this lead into the 4th quarter with just having to maybe run one more play. But the Huron Tigers are in striking distance of getting a stop and then potentially taking the lead on any kind of a score. Keenholz will slip and fall. He goes down. It's going to be 3rd down and around 30. He lost 5 yards back to the 27.
And Derek Simmonsma for the Tigers in on the, he'll get credit for the sack, but actually that was a play where Keenholz, and we haven't seen a problem with the footing so far tonight. That was probably the first time where we ever saw one of the players really have an issue, and he just, as he tried to step up in the pocket once he felt the pressure from Simmonsma, feet just went out from underneath him and he went down, and now it's third down.
Last play of the third quarter, Zach Lettler wide open, dives, makes the catch inside the 35-yard line to the 31. 3rd and 30, they pick it up, and Lettler with a diving grab, and the Governors will take a 1-point lead into the fourth quarter. Are you kidding me? What a grab by Zach Lettler. Broke the sound barrier, broke my voice there going to make that call. Governors will have 1st and 10 for the 31 inside Huron territory to start the fourth quarter. Back in a minute. Trying to regain my voice there. You listen to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. As we start the fourth quarter, Zach Lettler had a 41-yard grab on a diving play on 3rd and 30, and the Governors have a 1st down and 10 from the Huron 31 to open up the fourth quarter. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean as Keenholz will go play action, roll to his right. Maybe we'll go for Lettler one more time. He's going to throw for Bullwig. That one's tipped up and intercepted again, and Huron's going to take it out of their own end zone. And the Tigers have intercepted Keenholz 4 times. And it's going to go all the way to the back to the 28-yard line near that original line of scrimmage from that throw. It was tipped. Bullwig didn't make the catch, and it goes for a interception. And the Governor is down. That's Zach Lettler. He's all the way down back in the end zone, or in the Huron end zone.
Yeah, and Keenholz looking for Bullwig coming across on a deep crossing route, and again throwing into coverage, and Bullwig was surrounded by about 3 Huron Tigers, and the ball got tipped at the last minute, and I'm not sure which Tiger actually got the interception. Was it Tyson Lean? I thought I saw a 0 on the jersey. In all honesty, the Huron jerseys are a little tough to read. Those orange numbers do not stand out very well from the white uniforms. Irregardless, the interception was made in the end zone, and then a nice return out to the 28-yard line for the Tigers. But unfortunately, for Zach Lettler, and this looks like a shoulder injury, and unfortunately, we have seen Zach Lettler go down with shoulder injuries before, and the way that he is holding that left shoulder, I am not at all. I'm very concerned about what this may be and what the future may mean for Zach Lettler, for a really top-notch young man. If he's down with a shoulder injury, that's a real concern for the Governors.
He just made that 41-yard grab to set up that 1st and 10 play, but now it is 1st and 10 for the 27 for the Huron Tigers, as Cade McNeil and the Tigers have a chance to take the lead on any kind of a score. A hit as he throws, and it's going to fall incomplete as it goes to the right side of Fitzer, and McNeil is leveled, and it'll fall as Fitzer is now 9 for 19 with 2 touchdowns for 223 yards.
Yeah, and give McNeil credit. He stood in under a lot of pressure, and just as he delivered the ball, he took a huge hit from Gunnar Gehring, the 6'4", 265-pound defensive end, and he stood in and the ball fell incomplete, but McNeil paid for that one because it took him just about a fraction of a second to get up and recover from that play. And so we'll see how he fares the rest of this drive.
11:41 to play here in the fourth quarter. A 1-point lead for the Governors. On a handoff, going to the left side and cutting it back outside the tackle. And it'll be to the 31-yard line as it was Jaden Beck that got the handoff to the 31, a gain of 4, and it's 3rd down and 6 for Huron.
A couple of quick score updates, John. End of the third, Yankton leads Sturgis 20-3. Brookings has come back to score a couple times in the third quarter and now leads Mitchell 24-19. And Sully Buttes leads North Border 28-6 early in the fourth quarter.
A gain of 3, and it's 3rd and 7 here for the Huron Tigers. At the 31-yard line, 11 minutes to play, and a timeout's going to be called, and I think it's going to be for the Governor, one of the Governor players.
Gunnar Gearing must have an equipment issue, and so on a 3rd and long, you probably don't want your best defensive lineman to come out of the game, but that's the situation for the Governors right now.
3rd and 7 now from the 31. McNeil, he'll look to pass, throws over the middle, almost undercut. It's going to be dropped. It'll fall incomplete. The route was undercut. Cordellis came undercutting the route and almost had an interception, but it ended up being dropped. Josh Rouse is also there in the coverage for the Governors. Brings up 4th down, and Huron's going to put the ball away. And Nathan Nas is working on, he's the equipment manager. He was working on the helmet before the game. He was taking the visor off from Lincoln Keynold because of some of the rain, and he had to fix that helmet too. So he's all over the place with these helmets. He wasn't too happy about him trying to, and those helmets, he says it's not hard. It's just real tedious work to do.
Yeah, and a nice play on breaking up the pass, and Cordellis came in, did undercut the play, just made Derek Simmons just take his eye off the ball, and because of that, he was not able to put away, and then Josh Roush put him on the ground, and so it forced the Tigers to punt one more time tonight.
They'll go for McGuire Rasky, and he'll bobble that one is on the ground. Rasky had it picked up, and it falls again. Trey Lewis tried to fall on top of it. It's still loose, and the Governors will have it. Trey Lewis is able to fall, and the Governors, boy, this has just been one game that the Governors might want to just throw out when they will watch film, because this has not been the pure Governors that we've seen in the last 3 years that have won 3 state championships, but they are still, with all this happening, still leading this game right now with 10:40 to play.
Yeah, and just last year and the year before, we time and time again lauded the special teams play of the Pierre Governors, and tonight that has been the Achilles heel, unfortunately. And there again on the punt return team, the Governors make a mistake, and instead of having the ball up near midfield, now they'll start back inside their own 30. 1st
and 10 from the 23-yard line. McGuire Rasky will get the handoff as he is going nowhere, and it will end up being right around the 25-yard line. So pick up a gain of 2 for McGuire Rasky. He's broken the century mark. 21 carries, 100 yards for McGuire Rasky. That's all unofficial because my math is not very good. So it's going to be 2nd down and 8 from the 25.
I trust your math.
Well, that's your first mistake. 10-10 to go here in the fourth quarter. Pistol formation, receiver on each side. As Keynoles will hand off for Rasky. He'll sidestep one tackler. He breaks free into the secondary, and he'll get to about the 38-yard line. A gain of about 13 for McGuire Rasky. That's 1st down for the Governors.
And another, one of the guys blocking downfield, Houston Lundy, the senior right guard, downfield blocking, was a little slow to get up for the Governors, and actually the senior center. And so he was a little slow to get up after that play, and hopefully he's going to be okay in the long run.
McGuire Rasky's got a man on his back as he was able to carry an extra yard or two, as he almost had a piggyback ride all the way for a couple of yards for that Huron Tiger defender. As he'll get to from the 38 to the 43, gain of 5 for Rasky.
Yeah, Rasky got the ball, and he got the ball, and Hasur Hatu, the 175-pound junior, got the ball and the Huron defender all at the same time and was able to carry for about 5 yards after he got both.
Rasky again makes the first man miss. He gets to the 50-yard line, a gain of 8. And it's a first down for the Governors as he's right to the 50-yard line. And this is a McGuire Rasky drive. He's got 24 carries, 125 yards on those 24 carries. First and 10 for the 50-yard line. The best thing about this drive, too, is two things. One, you have McGuire Rasky run the football for you. And two, you're staying inside the tackles. You're running up the middle, and you're staying in bounds, letting that clock run.
Yeah, and right now, the way that they are putting the ball in McGuire Rasky's hands, playing both ways as well as returning kicks. McGuire, I can tell you this: I am 100% certain McGuire Rasky is going to sleep well tonight.
Gain of 4 on that run from McGuire Rasky to the Huron 46. I tell you, McGuire Rasky, if we have him come up here for the player of the game interview, I don't think he'll make it up here without falling asleep. 2nd and 6 from the 46. 8:20 to play here in the fourth quarter. From the pistol. Handoff for Rasky again up the middle. He's going to pick up 2 yards to the 44, and it's 3rd down and 4 from the 44-yard line. They got to get to the 40 here to the Governors. Try and keep this drive alive.
Haven't seen a lot of play action out of the Governors, but this might be the time to use something like that because the Huron Tiger defense is really starting to key on McGuire Rasky carrying the ball here as we reach almost the halfway point of the fourth quarter. If you can get a play action pass and maybe get them to bite, that might be the right thing to call right here.
Pitch from Rasky. He's at the line. He gets trying to get forward to the 40-yard line. He got enough for a first down. He got to the 39. Pick up 5 yards for McGuire Rasky, and those were 5 hard-earned yards for Rasky for a first down. The clock does stop, but you'll absolutely take that first down for Rasky.
Yeah, and you know, Rasky really read that play well. He actually ran into some bodies at about the 45-yard line. He was actually almost stacked up about 3 yards short of the first down sticks, but was able to keep his feet driving, found a crack in between about 3 or 4 Governor and Huron Tiger bodies, was able to get that first down and keep the Governor drive alive.
Rasky again, he'll tumble forward. He's out of bounds again, but a good gain there for McGuire Rasky as he got inside the 35 to around the 32-yard line, a gain of 7. And I'm about to run out of room here for McGuire Rasky on my stat sheet. 28 carries, 143 yards, only goes to 29. I think he's going to have more than 2 carries here the rest of the way. 7:32 left to go in the fourth quarter.
So right now, the Governors have to stay mistake-free as they push toward the red zone right now. They got to put points on the board in this drive.
2nd and 3 from the 32. Handoff for Rasky. He's going to go straight up the middle. He got hit immediately and goes down in the backfield. Maybe to the 31. And Rasky maybe deal a little bit of cramp. He's stretching it out. He seems to be okay. Where they're going to spot him. They're going to spot him right at the 32. So it's going to be 3rd down and 3 from the 32-yard line.
Yeah. And not only is McGuire doing everything on the field tonight, he also is his own personal athletic trainer.
7 minutes to go. They're going to empty the backfield here on 3rd and 3. I wonder if there's going to be a design keeper for Lincoln Keenels to pick up those 3 yards. Play clock is now down to 10. 3 receivers out to the left side. 4 down linemen for the Huron Tigers. Under 5 on the play clock. Design run for Keenels. Inside the 30 to around the 25. Picks up 6 yards. Does Lincoln Keenels enough for a first down?
Yeah, you read the mind of Steve Steele, the offensive in the offensive playbook. I mean, just empty the backfield and just put it in the hands of Lincoln Keenels, the 175-pound sophomore quarterback.
I guess we can say that I talked to him so much that I start to know his mind. Because honestly, if I'm guessing this, then the Huron Tigers should probably know that's coming too. 1st and 10 from the 27. 3 receivers out to the left side. Keenels again to design run. He'll go up the middle to the 20-yard line as he gets spun around and down right around the 21. A gain of 6 for Lincoln Keenels.
Yeah, it's a designed run, but it's a play that goes up the middle, but it's actually kind of a trap play because the guard pulls kicks out the end as he's coming across, and so Keenholz ends up with a hole kind of over where the right guard would be, and with that the Governors get about 5 yards and get into second and medium here with just under 6 minutes to go in the ball game.
This is going to be the 11th play of the drive. 2nd and 4 from the 21. 5:45 left to go. Keenholz again the third time on the keeper. He's inside the 20 to the 15. And he'll get near the 10-yard line. Actually, he's going to be down the 13-yard line, a gain of 8.
For a gain of 7 more and another
It's 1st and 10 here for Pierre, and Huron's going to take a timeout. And again, with the small lineup that they have, the small roster they have, it's not a bad timeout to take because they're just getting worn down right now by the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, and I think right now the Huron Tiger offensive and defensive lines are a little bit undersized. The Governors have them outweighed on both sides of the ball. I mean, and we heard Coach Spanton talk about that in the pregame. So right now, late in the game, a long drive for the Governors, a long physical punishing drive for the Governors right now. And I think they are just beginning to wear down this Huron Tiger team. And Huron has lost 3 games. 2 of them by 2 points, a couple of close games where you kind of wonder if maybe they had an ability to maybe have a little deeper roster and keep a few bodies fresh, or maybe they'd have a shot at the end of some of these games. If they lose another game tonight here late in the fourth quarter, that's the kind of game that really will eat at a Huron Tiger coaching staff.
5:39 left to go here in the fourth quarter. It's 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Huron took their first time out of the half. This is going to be the 13th play of the drive. There's another reason why you take that time out. Your defense has been on there for 12 straight plays here. The 13th play coming up. Receiver on each side, Jack Burquan and Aaron Booth. A handoff for McGuire Rasky. He'll be up the middle. He's spun around, and he'll get near the 5-yard line to around the 6. A gain of about 7 for McGuire Rasky.
Yeah, just again, the Governors putting 8 guys on the line, and then Colin Brueggemann is stacked right behind the left offensive guard, and so it's just kind of an elephant kind of formation, just smash mouth kind of football, and the Governors are winning that battle just about every time on this drive.
5 minutes to play. Keenholz handoff for Rasky up the middle, powers his way, and he's down to the 1. A gain of 6 for McGuire Rasky, another first down. And it will be 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. The Governors fumbled the last time they were down the 1-yard line. 4:50 to go here in this fourth quarter. Not going to go from under center, going to go for the pistol. Handoff for Rasky one more time. He powers his way. He's in the end zone for a touchdown, and McGuire Rasky goes all the way to the fourth quarter before he gets his first rushing touchdown of the game. But the Governors are now up 20-13, and a big extra point coming up to try and go up by 8 here for Pierre.
Yeah, just smash mouth football. Just hand it to McGuire Rasky. Rasky left, Rasky right, Rasky up the middle. A little bit of Lincoln Keenholz mixed in just to keep the Huron Tiger defense honest. But I tell you what, that was a drive that was all about who wanted this game more. And McGuire Rasky just put this team on his back on that drive. 15-play
drive is capped off with a 1-yard touchdown run. Karsten Miller's extra point is up and good. And it is an 8-point lead here for the Pierre Governors with 4:42 to go here in the fourth quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, 21-13, Governors lead. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean.
Quick score updates from around 11 AA. Brookings now leads Mitchell midway through the fourth quarter, 37-25. Yankton in a final. They beat Sturgis 20-3.
As the Governors lead by 8, a 15-play drive for the Pierre Governors. And McGuire Rasky He finished with 12 carries in that 15-play drive. Lincoln Keenel's had 3 in a row. Rasky had the other 12, and it's an 8-point lead, 21-13 with 4:42 to play in the fourth quarter. And this is for the Huron Tigers, this is a must-score situation. You can't expect to get the ball twice here to try and score one time with 4:42 left.
Yeah, and so now the burden comes back onto the Pierre Governor defense, and now you don't want to play prevent, but you want to just be smart right now.
Taking at the 10-yard line, the 15-20. One of the Tiger players got hit in the back by his own teammate, and that was kind of dangerous for Juan Urena. Not the baseball player. I don't think the Huron Tiger is going to be. And thankfully, he got right back up. But it's going to be 1st and 10 for the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Krenzler on the return for the Tigers, and as he came up and got across the 20, he just ran right into the back of Urena, who was locked up with the Governor in a block over here, and as the kick return team for the Governors came in and closed on him, there was about 5 bodies all went to the ground at the same time.
I was waiting to make that call all night. I was waiting to see if I could make that reference at any point while not just throwing his name out there for no reason. McNeil on play action. He's wrapped up. He's sacked in the backfield. Gunnar Gehring is there. And that's a big sack to open up this drive. And it's going to be 2nd down and very long.
Yeah, and the Tigers with a little play action, pass action. Jaden Beck got the handoff, or got the play action, and then McNeil pulled it back, and just as he went back and took a couple steps after the play action, Gunnar Gehring was right there to put McNeil on his back, and it's a loss of about looks like a loss of about 8 for the Tigers.
It'll be second down, and we'll call it 17 from the 18-yard line. Under 10 to go on the play clock. McNeil will throw over the middle. That's going to be intercepted. And the Governors will take over inside the 30-yard line, the 29, as it is Cordellis, his 3rd interception of the season. And the Governors are just about on their way for a big win. There is an injured Huron Tiger down at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and McNeil, straight drop back. Krenzler coming out of his wide receiver position just on a crossing route, and give a lot of credit to Cord Ellis, the Governor safety, just timed it perfectly and stepped in front of the pass and just did a nice job for his 3rd interception of the season. Huge turnover for Huron, the first one of the night for Huron, I think.
Yeah, first interception, the first turnover by the Huron Tigers. They punt the ball every time other than the 2 scores. And that finally got that interception after the Governors are turned the ball over 5 times. They still lead 21-13 with 3:46 to play. We'll step aside as they attend to the injured Huron Tiger. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Listen to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Fitzer will make his way out off the field as he is being helped off the field to the Huron sideline. So it's 1st and 10 here for the Governors from the 29-yard line, un-Tiger territory, with 3:46 left to play here in the ball game. The Governors are kind of almost playing Monday Night Football back in when the Cowboys had those 5 turnovers and still beat the Buffalo Bills. Right now, they've flirted with those 5 turnovers, but they lead by 8. McGuire Rasky up the middle, and he'll get inside the 25 to the 24, a gain of 5 on that first carry. 33 carries here for McGuire Rasky. 161 yards and 33 carries for McGuire Rasky. How about that for your fantasy team?
I tell you what, I'll take that every day, because I tell you what, if if you've got the first pick in South Dakota high school fantasy football, McGuire Raskey's got to be right at the top of your list.
Well, he's got those 16 touchdowns on the ground, 17 in total. He's got 6 catches for 97 yards here in this game. Governors are taking that play clock all the way down. It's under 10 with 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Down to 5, 4, and a snap, and a give to McGuire Raskey again. He's trying to keep those feet churning. He got the forward progress to about the 23-yard line, and Huron's going to take a timeout. And it'll be around the 22-yard line, a gain of 2. Then bring up 3rd down and 3 as the Tigers have taken their second timeout. So with 2:51 to go, Huron's got 1 timeout left. Realistically, a first down could pretty much win this ball game here for the Governors.
Yeah, and you got to feel for the Huron Tigers. They are going to limp out of here tonight with several injuries. They've got 11 guys on the field right now, and I'm just trying to count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 suited up on the sidelines right now. A couple of guys in jeans and khakis, and Fitzer over on the bench, along with another Tiger, both that have been injured tonight, and so they are going to come out of here a very beat up ball club, and they've got to go to number 1 Yankton next week.
And that's going to be, and that's the one thing. If you're going to take a loss, you hope that you can come out healthy after a loss. And this, the Huron Tiger team, even a win at this point, you'd rather come out healthy with a loss than come out hurting with a win. And the Tigers looks like they're not going to do either one of those right now. But it's still 3rd and 3 here from the 22. This ball game is far from over yet. 2:51 to play. Bergman will go in motion to the right side. Keenholz will pitch to the right side for McGuire Raskey on the toss as Raskey gets hit hard at the 21-yard line. As a big-time stop here. And Huron will take their final timeout. The Governors have 4th down and 2 from the 21. And so now here is the play of the game. If you're Coach Steele, you don't like punting the ball ever. I mean, 21-yard line. It's a 38-yard field goal for Karsten Miller. If you do it, you're up by 13, or excuse me, up by 11, and that's a 2-score game. That's almost going to be impossible for Huron to score outside of getting an onside kick. But if you go for it and pick it up, game's pretty much over here.
Yeah, and so biggest play of the game right now. If the smart money says this ball's going into the hands of McGuire Raskey. You just got to believe that's where it's going. I mean, he's been the guy who's put this team on his back just about all night long, and so look for number 14. We'll see where he goes off the snap, but I would be surprised if it goes anywhere else but in the number 14's midsection right here.
See if they move Colin Bergman again in motion as he's just behind that line of scrimmage. Receiver on each side. Bergman to the left of the center of Houston Lundy. A clap from Keenholz. Did not get anybody to move from the Huron Tigers. 4th and 2 from the 21. As the play clock is under 10. Down to 5. Keenholz will take the snap, gives for Raskey. He's inside the 20 to the 19. He's still getting forward. Past the 15 to about the 12. And McGuire Raskey picks up a big 9 yards. And it's a first down for the Governors. And that is almost going to be it for this ball game. Although where they sit at, they can pick up one more first down. And that's all they can do is pick up one more here for the Pierre Governors. But a gain of 9 for McGuire Raskey.
With 2:26 to go, you can't go into victory formation yet. But if you pick up one more first down, even though you don't score, you could just about put this game out of reach. So either the Governors need a first down or a touchdown to put this thing away.
Under 3 on the play clock. Handoff for McGuire Raskey. Again, cuts it back. He's going to try and get in the end zone. He's in for a second time. McGuire Raskey from 12 yards out. And it's a second rushing touchdown for McGuire Raskey. 185 yards on 37 carries. McGuire Raskey takes that entire possession of 5 plays. 12 yards out for McGuire Raskey. And Pierre, they lead now 27-13. Can make it up by 15 with an extra point. And it's an extra point and a 2-point conversion for Huron to score twice in a minute 59. As long as this extra point goes through from Karsten Miller. And it will go straight through the uprights. 28-13, 1:59 to play here in the fourth quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor of Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. 28-13 with 1:59 to play here in the fourth quarter. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. A 5-play drive, all for McGuire Raskey, carried in from 12 yards out. 37 carries for McGuire Raskey. He's caught another 6 balls. So 43 plays in total for this Pierre Governor offense has gone to McGuire Raskey here tonight.
Yeah, he just, like I said, Raskey is a name we've called a lot over the years, and I got to find him here because actually he's back to wearing number 14 tonight. He ripped the jersey a couple of weeks ago, so he had to wear number 25. So he's actually listed at number 25 in the program. I had a little trouble finding him, but he checks in at 5'11", 185. He has really taken a pounding tonight. Like you said, 30 plus carries tonight, plus a couple of multiple receptions, playing full-time on defense. He has just about done it all tonight. He will, he and Bolway will probably be our players of the game and be up here in the post-game show.
And I think maybe that's what McGuire Raskey is trying to do now, is going to be up here every single week. Because we're sitting there, and we like to, not that these guys don't deserve it, we like to pass around the wealth. We like to share the wealth of player of the games, get a chance to talk on the radio, but Raskey's done so much that it's almost impossible for us. We do a disservice, injustice for McGuire Raskey not to come up here and talk on the radio again. 1st and 10 for the 26. You have a career in radio.
36 carries and 6 receptions.
37 carries.
37 carries. Yeah. Wow.
Quick pass. Catch is going to be made by Kranzler on the near side. He's going to be wrapped up and down at the 35-yard line, a gain of 9. Kranzler makes his third catch as he's got over 100 yards receiving, 232 yards passing for McNeil. 2 touchdowns, but an interception to go along with it. 2nd and 1 from the 35. No timeouts for Huron. Minute 24 to go. There's a throw to the flat, and that catch is going to be made. And Huron's not going to get out of bounds. The clock. Well, now they will get out of bounds. The tackle was missed. And Colby Hott made the catch, as he's going to get to the 39-yard line. A gain of 4, but it's enough for a first down.
Governor's in a prevent defense right now, and Hott just on an out route on the far sideline, and Cordellis comes up to apply the coverage, and Hott was able to just slip out of the tackle and was able to get the sidelines and stop the clock.
Down by 15 with a minute 16 to play here in the fourth quarter. Empty backfield here. Bolwig is coming off the edge, trying for a sack on the blitz, and catch is going to be made by Hott again. He's going to get out of bounds at the 45-yard line, a gain of 6. And 2nd and 4 here for Huron.
And at some point, Huron's got to take a shot downfield. I mean, these underneath routes, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, will eat up some yardage. But at some point, the clock is definitely your enemy with a minute 12. You got to start trying to figure out a way to get some yardage in chunks.
2nd and 4 from the 45. Empty backfield here again for McNeil. Bolwig will come off the edge. The ball is loose. It is picked up by Gunnar Gehring. And there goes the big man. He's going to score. Gunnar Gehring.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
And the Governors lead 34-13 with 1:01 to go. How about that for Gunnar Gehring? As he picks it up and carries it about 25, 30 yards in the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, and give a lot of credit. Reagan Bolwig coming off the edge got McNeil on the blind side. The right-handed quarterback just did not see Reagan Bolwig coming, and Bolwig applied the big hit, and then Gunnar Gehring was right there to pick up the football, and it was fun. And I tell you what, the big fella's got some pretty good wheels.
Boy, oh boy, is he fast. And a blur that Gunnar Gehring picked that up and took it to the house. 1:01 to go here in the fourth quarter. As the snap is low, the kick is up, and it is good. 35-13. Governors lead by now 18 points. This final score here, Greg, is 35-13, and if they don't score, it'll end up being a 22-point lead here for the Governors. That's not going to be the indication of how close this game actually was. 2 late scores here for Pierre has made this a little bit easier to take a big breath, but this Huron team was close all the way throughout.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, this was a game. This was a 1-point game at the end of 3, and actually a 1-point game well into the fourth quarter. So I mean, I got a lot of respect for this Huron Tiger team. I mean, they have just absolutely played their hearts out tonight. They've been beat up. You've got some kids that have walked off. They've played hurt. I mean, my hat's off to them. This has been a real show of just a real gut check for the Tigers tonight. And I tell you what, if Coach Scott Spanton has anything to say after this game, he's going to tell these young men how proud he is of them, because they could have laid down a lot of different times tonight, and they didn't do that.
Miller on the ensuing kickoff. It'll be bobble caught, and Kranzler will try and reverse field to the far side. He's going to cut it back. He's inside the 15. He gets to about the 17-yard line with 53 seconds to go. And Greg, you're exactly right. This Huron team, boy, all the injuries that they've gone through just in this game alone, was in a possession, had a chance to try and go down and tie the ball game up through an interception. That's where the game kind of finally ended for Huron. But with the lack of roster, I mean, it seems like there's less and less guys out there on the sideline as the game goes on. And this Huron team, they're going to leave beaten up here tonight, but it's a very good effort here by this Huron Tiger team. McNeil will hand it off for Lean, and it'll go to the 20-yard line. So they've pretty much they've called off the dogs. Next to be James will pick up 3 yards, and it'll be 35 seconds to go.
3 yards on the carry. We'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Tigers.
2nd and 7 with 25 seconds to go. Huron just has to run one more play before this game is over.
Yeah, and I tell you what, this was a gutty performance for the Pierre Governors tonight. I mean, they got their mettle tested, and I tell you, they responded, especially in the fourth quarter. So a lot of credit to Huron, a lot of credit to Pierre, and I tell you what, Pierre is going to be, Pierre has a lot of good things to talk about, and they're going to come off of this game on very much of an emotional high, riding into next week, going in to face an undefeated Brookings team.
As it's 35-13, the Governors win here tonight over the Huron Tigers. And we'll step aside for 3 minutes, come back with the post-game show. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, the Governors, they win 35-13, a 22-point win over the Huron Tigers. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean as we welcome you into the post-game show. And the Governors, Greg, they're going to walk away with a 22-point win, but that's anything but a 22-point win here for Pierre.
Yeah, and again, this was a night when the Governors really outperformed the Tigers in just about every phase of the game, but they tended to just make mistakes when at the wrong times. You had five turnovers tonight for the Governors. Tigers had 2. It's not very often that you're -3 in the turnover battle and are able to win a game by 22 points. The Governors were able to do that tonight. The Governors gave up 2 long pass plays for touchdowns again. Same thing that beat them, where they had problems last week. Had some problems on special teams, but tonight was a night where they were able to, and then a ton of penalties tonight. And the Governors were just able to overcome all of that adversity and just were able to put together a winning effort against, a very gritty Huron Tiger team, very physical, kind of, I don't want to say undermanned, but undersized Huron Tiger team. I mean, they don't really start a lot of big hefties on either side of the line, and so they play small. But I tell you what, they did a really good job. My hat's off to them tonight. But I tell you, a very good performance for the Governors tonight, and I think they're going to walk out of here with a lot of momentum going into next week, going into Coughlin Alumni Stadium over on the campus of SDSU when they take on the Brookings Bobcats.
As we go through some of the totals here for the Pierre Governors, they had 499 total yards of offense. It was 230 yards through the air, 269 yards on the ground for that 499-yard total. For the Huron Tigers, 268 yards in total, 242 through the air, and only 26 on the ground. This is the second straight week here that we've seen a team be held under 30 yards or less from this Pierre Governor rush defense, and I think we're going to see that quite a lot for the rest of the year. Although when the Pierre's going to face teams that are going to run the ball a little bit more in Brookings and Mitchell the next 2 weeks, it's going to get up there in terms. But this rush defense, again, got to feel pretty confident in what they've done here in the last couple of weeks, allowing very little total yards.
Yeah, and that front three of Preston Taylor, Jace Beestrom, and Gunnar Gehring, that's about as solid a defensive front as you're going to find at just about any level in South Dakota. And so it's no surprise that teams are having trouble penetrating that brick wall that the Governors were able to throw out there. And then what the Governors did tonight was they were able to bring some pressure because that front three is able to bottle up that Huron offensive line. They were able to bring some pressure, kind of like what we had anticipated out of their linebacking core, and especially there at the very end. They brought some pressure off the edge and up the middle tonight. We saw Colin Brigham and Josh Roush both come up the middle on blitzes, and finally the one that was the big one was Reagan Bolwig off the edge tonight. Got Cade McNeil on the blind side, coughed up the ball, and then Gunnar Gehring, the big guy, 265 pounds, 30 yards. I mean, it was blinding speed for the big fella.
Absolutely blinding speed. McGuire Rasky, 37 carries for 185 yards on offense. He and Lincoln Keenels were the only two that carried the ball offensively. He had Reagan Bolwig who caught the ball 5 times for 88 yards. Rasky caught it 6 times for 97 yards. Booth had a 10-yard reception. Zach Littler, before his injury, he had the big 41-yard reception for the Governors, but it ended up being 47 yards on 2 catches for Zach Littler. But this Pierre Governor team, offensively, they were led by McGuire Rasky, and they're going to see a lot more of McGuire Rasky to lead this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, it's no secret. I mean, if you're going to try to scout Pierre either on film or in person, your eyes are immediately going to go to number 14 or number 25, depending on what jersey he wears. And maybe that's the biggest secret in the Pierre playbook right now is you put him in a different number every week. But you're going to go immediately to McGuire Rasky, and he is going to just going to carry over and over and over again. And we got we got three young men joining us as our try players of the game tonight.
As we welcome in McGuire Raskey first, and McGuire, are you a little tired?
Yeah, very.
You carried the ball 37 times for 185 yards. You had another six catches for 97 yards. Again, I know you got to know that you're going to get a lot of touches, but do you feel like you're going to get that many touches in the game?
I didn't know I had, how was it, 37?
Yeah, 37.
I didn't know I had 37, but, my body could feel it out there sometimes. I was pretty tired.
You're going to sleep pretty good tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, probably.
It really looked like it, especially in the second half, that the Coach Steele and the offensive coaches just really decided that they were going to put the ball in your hands. And again tonight, you really responded. You carried a ton last week against Spearfish, and again they just put the ball in your hands, and you responded again tonight.
Yep. That was the game plan. We knew in that second quarter or fourth quarter, if I got that first down, like 2 minutes left, the game was over, as long as I didn't fumble. And, I just kept pushing and hope for the best.
Now, offensively, you guys end up having 5 turnovers in the game in total. The defense, where the last couple of weeks, the defense hasn't been very strong in terms of the pass defense. But here tonight, the defense helped carry the offense into allowing you guys to be able to make up for those mistakes at the end of the game and keep your team in a position to win ball game.
Yeah, defense stepped up big. Our DBs did their jobs, and we took care of business.
Including one guy getting
and Gunner.
Getting a big run here. We're going to talk with him a little bit later. But all three of you guys. Well, and Reagan had that that tackle to force that ball free. So. Again, for you guys getting everybody back here, how key was that going into this week, having everybody back and having an opportunity to practice with everybody again?
It was huge. It was the first time we've all been back in 3 weeks or so. We just had let go down, actually. We dislocated his shoulder again. But hopefully he gets better, and best luck to him. We need him on the field with us. Yeah,
and I think you obviously have a lot of weapons on the offensive side. Lincoln Keenholz has a lot of progressions that he works through. He's got you as a safety valve, and a lot of times with that 5 wide set, he's got Bullweg coming out of the tight end position, Aaron Booth and Lettler coming out of the wide sets. Surprisingly, even though you ran the ball 37 times tonight, you also threw it 28 times tonight, and so that's I think that creates some challenges for other teams. This Huron Tiger defense, they were kind of a bend but not break defense for most of the night up until the fourth quarter. Talk about the maybe some of the challenges you had with that defense tonight.
They were tough. They hit hard. They filled holes. It was hard to break a big run, but I just kept chugging. But they had good linebacker crew. They were pretty solid.
And now you go take on a Brookings team next Friday that was on their way to beating Mitchell to stay undefeated.
Yep.
On the road, where you guys won your state championship last year against that team. So obviously, again, you guys were focused on Huron. Now you start to get ready for this Brookings game. What do you expect from them?
They're a good team. We know it's going to be probably a run-heavy game. We just got to work, have our D-line keep pushing, sacks. We just got to stop the running back, I think. I know they got good players all around, but I know their running back's a key in their offense.
Yep. So good luck next week. We'll be there. Probably end up calling your name a lot next week, too.
Hopefully.
Do you feel a little slighted? Because a little talk on Twitter was talking about Mitchell and Brookings having the two of the best running backs in the state.
I know. I just blocked that out. It's been going on my whole high school career. I'm over it. It's over.
16 rushing touchdowns in 16 rushing touchdowns in 4 games or 5 games now for McGuire Raskey. That's a big, and congratulations to Raskey and the Governor's winning here. As we welcome in Reagan Bullweg, we got to talk to you quite a bit last year. First time here this year, and you missed last week. So how nice was it to get back on the football field?
Glad to be back always. Definitely had some kids fill in. Jed Zabel, young freshman, Booth playing my position there. It's great to have kids and have a depth chart to actually, if something like COVID, strange times, COVID just come to us, and have guys who can play my position and play it well. So
Couple of touchdowns tonight. Had to feel good getting back in the end zone after a little bit of a drought. Maybe talk about the two plays that you scored on, and especially the one over on the far sideline where you were able to shake a defender and almost walk into the end zone.
Yeah, that was a close one. Almost stepped out of bounds there. Just keeping balance. We do those drills in practice. Ask anybody. It's great to be in the end zone. I love it. Finally getting in there twice tonight. The drought's done. That's all I got to say.
Gunner's nodded his head too since he got in the end zone tonight.
His too, yes. His long 17-year-old drought, yes.
Talk about that play though, where he was able to score. What you came off the edge on the blitz. Talk about what you saw and how quickly you're able to get to McNeil to make that play happen.
I started out very wide. Then Coach Lewis looks over, Bullwig, send it. So scooted in, saw perfect. They line totally forgot me. Then hit him. Then I see that ball pop up. Gunner, gone.
That was pretty good at Lewis impression too. That sounds exactly what he would how he would sound too when he was telling you to go for a blitz.
Yes.
So you obviously are going to play football next year at SDSU. I think you're going to play tight end, correct?
Yep, tight end H-back.
Are you gonna miss playing on the defensive side of the ball?
Yes, I mean, all the college coaches have asked me. I'm 50-50 for both sides. Love catching touchdowns, but I also like sacking guys, hitting guys. So, yeah,
especially when they aren't expecting it.
Exactly.
Last year you guys got to win that state championship on there. You hadn't committed to go play at SDSU at that point. Now you have committed to go play at SDSU. You get a chance to play on that field again before you actually get to be a Jackrabbit. How special is that?
Good to play on the future field there, but I'm with this team, and this is the team we need to focus on. So we got to clean up a lot of stuff. We're not the same team as last year. So
maybe talk about some of the adjustments you made at halftime. I mean, you had some opportunities in the first half. Only came away with the one touchdown lead at halftime. You had several turnovers, had some other mistakes. Maybe talk a little bit about some of the adjustments you made at halftime coming out and that hopefully played into the second half rally.
Those are the games this year. We're not 15 guys by halftime. We got close games, even down. That first touchdown was 7-0 there. You just got to get in the kids' heads like, hey, we got to play. We got to do everything right when it needs to be done and no room for mistakes.
Reagan, congratulations on the win. Good to talk to you again here this year, and we'll see you next Friday in Brookings.
Thank you.
That is Reagan Bullwig, as we now welcome in the man that scored the last touchdown of the game. All right, Gunner, talk about what was going through your mind when you scooped up that ball and we're going lights out trying to get to the end zone.
I was like, is this really happening? It was awesome. But if it wasn't for Bullwig hitting that quarterback, that would never happen.
So did you hear any of the coaches' voices in your head saying, just fall on the ball, just fall on the ball?
No, I want to pick up the ball and I want to run it.
So now when you came back to the sideline, what was the reaction of the coaches? What was the reaction of Coach Steele?
Steele, did you talk to me after that? I don't really remember. Oh, yeah. But Nas and I jumped and hit shoulders, but all my teammates came and congratulated me, and that was awesome.
And I mean, it's a lot of hard work paying off too. There's a lot of times where an offensive defensive lineman kind of goes a little unnoticed, and you get a chance to score, and the limelight does get to shine on you a little bit more. But it's kind of a reward for everything that you've done the last couple of years.
Yeah, last year I had a scoop and score as well, but I just jumped on it.
So this one you got to show up the speed now. Yeah, you get to show up the speed now too.
Yeah. I think one of the things that maybe we didn't talk up a lot tonight was the play of the defensive line. I mean, you and Preston Taylor and Jace Beestrom, I think, really did a nice job up front tonight, because Tyson Lean came into this game with almost 400 yards rushing. Other than the 120-yard quick hitter that he got here late in the third quarter, you really did a nice job bottling him up tonight and really took away, for the most part, the entire Huron rushing attack. Maybe talk a little bit about what the game plan was there.
I think we were just gonna try to go. My game plan was just try to get the quarterback, because if you guys can't hear, my dad's always yelling. Like, I can hear him from like a mile away. He always tells me, 1 second, get off your block, and just.
Well, and you guys as a defensive line the last couple of weeks now have held Huron here to 26 yards rushing. You had negative yards for spearfish rushing. You guys, is it almost a challenge to basically have 0 rushing yards at the end of the game?
I mean, it's not just the line; it's also linebackers and everyone else. If like it wasn't for them, they could have more rushing yards. But it's just like a team effort on defense.
So what's more fun, scoring a touchdown or sacking the quarterback?
Definitely scoring the touchdown. I mean, it's fun. It's fun sacking the quarterback, but I think scoring a touchdown tops it off.
No, you need like a fumble Ruski play for you to get a chance on offense here. But Coach Steele, he might put that in there for you.
Hopefully.
No, probably not. Hey, Gunnar, congratulations on the win. See you next Friday in Brookings.
Thank you.
As Gunnar Gehring, as the Governors, again, they win 35-13 over the Brookings, Huron Tigers. They get the Brookings Bobcats next week Friday, as we welcome in the head coach and Steve Steele. And Coach, okay, so we've had some fun talking with these guys on the win, but this game was one where you win by 22, but you're probably not happy with how this game played out overall.
No, I'm tired. That was a struggle. Huron was a really good team. I mean, they've got that quick strike capability, and I was actually very proud of our defense. Really giving up 3 major plays of offense to them. They had the 2 long touchdowns and then that run, that 20-25 yard run. And other than that, I think we managed them pretty well. They moved the ball a little, but they didn't really put any long extended drives together. Maybe a first down or 2, and then we were able to get off. So I was really proud of them. But I said offensively, we just, when it wasn't penalties, it was turnovers. When it wasn't turnovers, we just didn't catch or make throws. We just were out of sync for that first half, and it was really good to see that fourth quarter play out the way it did, where everyone did what we knew they could do.
Yeah, you lost the turnover battle. You were -3 in the turnover battle tonight. You had probably more penalties tonight than in any other game, maybe combined in the previous 4 games. So going into next week and going into play an undefeated Brookings team in their facility, what are you going to clean up in this week to get ready for a team like that?
Well, the big thing, I thought with the picks, some of the interceptions were some tremendous plays. You got to give Huron secondary a lot of credit. They did the tip drill to perfection at least twice, and then they had one where it was just a phenomenal play, stepping in front of a route. So they made some really, really good plays on those. So obviously we've got to shore some of that up, but at the same point in time, hopefully Brookings, I guess, isn't as good in the secondary like that, where they're going to make some of those. Because if those fall incomplete, I think we end up with some more points as well. But we can't fumble on the one. If we don't fumble on the one, that's 7 points right there. Our punt return was still not great today. We probably lost an extra 20 or 30 yards not catching punts or fair catching and tipping them backwards, trying to catch the ones that we think we can catch. So we've got to get that squared away. And then the penalties, I said it was a crazy game. I don't remember that many penalties in a long time. So we've got to make sure we get that short up.
Now, you guys offensively have just have really been rolling through your 4 wins of the season so far. But tonight, again, you lost a turnover battle, but the defense played really, really well and kept you guys from getting down by too much. And it seemed like maybe the defense was relying on the offense to continue to score. Here tonight, the offense was relying on the defense to keep them from scoring.
Definitely. I said that drive, the 14-13 drive where they had to make that stop, that was a huge stop. And I said, I think once they made that stop and we were able to put that long drive together and put that in, I said that stop was everything. That really gave us the momentum to really push it over the edge.
How easy does McGuire-Askey make your job?
Pretty easy. I said it was actually kind of funny, that drive where, I don't know how many times we gave him the ball, but it was a lot. And after one of the plays, he's kind of grabbing his legs. So we're just like, okay, well, let's go out wide. And I think that was those next 3 plays were so important from Lincoln, to have the fortitude to really stick his head in there. He's not a guy that's overly comfortable. He's a sophomore, sticking his head into the line, into the box and plowing ahead for a first down. And that 4th down run, that was, 4th and 3. It wasn't to the edge. It was, you go through that way and we ultimately win the game, getting the first down, or you go outside and maybe not, and all of a sudden we got to rely on the defense yet again. So that was a really mature play from Lincoln, and then that was just enough of a break. McGuire gave us the thumbs up, so we brought him back in and rode him the rest of the way.
That was 12 times on that drive out of the 15 plays. He had 37 touches on the ground and 6 catches here tonight. And again, when you look at it, and Greg made the comment, he had 37 times on the ground, and you threw the ball 28 times. with another 14 times that Lincoln carried the ball. There was just a lot of plays in general over the entire course of the game. So when you look at it, yes, there's a lot of times that McGuire-Raskey got the ball, but overall, it was well worth it for him to continue to get the ball to kind of take pressure off the passing game.
Yeah, that's a lot of plays. It's going to be a long night of film. But yeah, no, in high school football, I mean, if you're running 75 or 70 plays, I mean, that's usually a pretty good sign. That means we held onto the ball a lot. And, that fourth quarter, I think that was a really huge thing for our guys to be able to give our defense breaks and to really put all the pressure on them to know that they didn't have another option. They had to take those big plays. And, I think, hopefully a couple of their guys are okay. But, I said when Lean went out, I think that also changed the game a little bit for our defense and their offense.
Yeah, and I guess as I looked at this game, I mean, I think you had to be proud of anything. I mean, there's obviously some things you can clean up and some teaching moments on the film you're going to look at, but just the way that this team responded to the adversity in the fourth quarter and the way that they rose to the occasion, I think both your offensive and defensive line, your skill position players, you had a lot of guys step up when you really need them in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that's been the fun part about this season, and it's not an easy season. I think you're seeing pretty clearly there's a lot of teams that could contend this year, and we're hoping to be one of them. And it's really good to play these types of games where it's a struggle. That's what we talked about in the locker room. If you guys want to be a great football teams find a way to learn these lessons with wins. Because ultimately you've got to win at the end of the day, especially when we get into the playoffs and playing these close games and fighting through this adversity and knowing we can do that now takes a lot of question marks out of the game when you get to the playoffs and have to face the same adversity.
You're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station past 10 o'clock here on Friday as the Governors win 35-13. We're talking with Coach Steve Steele, and now you start to look ahead to Brookings next Friday. And the Bobcats won again tonight over Mitchell. They stay undefeated. You're going to SDSU, the side of a rematch now of the state championship from last year. What have you seen from them on film, the early looks of this Brookings team?
They're good. They've got a really good offensive line, and they've got a running back that they lean on, just like we lean on McGuire. I mean, it's going to be a showdown between two running backs, kind of like it was tonight expected with him and Parker Phillips facing off. So it'll be a fun game. I said it's going to be another kind of old school football game, I think, where it's going to see who can push each other the farthest and which running back can carry the load better.
And so as you go into next week, we saw Zach Lettler come off with a shoulder injury. You got any other injuries, any bumps and bruises going into next week?
Not yet. So hopefully we stay that way. And he said we haven't got an update on Zach yet, but hoping for the best.
Absolutely.
One more thing, too, is every week we talk to guys, which right now we're talking to McGuire-Raskey weekly because we can't not have him up here. But the great thing that I've been hearing from these guys, and I think you can agree and you see it in practice, that every one of these guys, when we talk about something that they did, they always start to talk about what somebody else did to help them make that play, whatever it might be. And this team, just like they were last year and the year before, it's kind of instilled on them to not be so, I had a great game. No, we had a great game, and these guys had a great game to help me be better than what I could be.
That's a very proud coach moment. I appreciate that. But no, it's such a great thing to hear the guys do that, and just to know that they've built this team into that. I mean, it truly is a team, and it's not anyone worried about one person's stats or the other person's stats. It's worrying about the ultimate stat, which is the points scored on the game, and hopefully that we end up with more. And that's what's made this whole journey the last few years just so much fun, because it's not just this year's team, it's last year's team, and it's the year before's. I mean, a couple former players out there, first guys at the locker room, ready to shake everyone's hand and say, way to get it done tonight, fellas. I mean, that's what it's all about, when you've got those guys coming back for the camaraderie and letting those young guys know, hey, we've been there, we made it through, you guys will do it too. And it's just a lot of fun to witness and be a part of.
You got family on the right side of your head, and that's, hey, you guys talk about it, and you guys make the part of it.
Appreciate that.
As the Governors win, Coach, congratulations on the win. We'll see you. We'll talk to you at Coach's Corner on Wednesday, and we'll see you on Friday at Brookings.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Yep, congratulations.
Head Coach Steve Steele of the Pierre Governor football team as they win 35-13 over the Huron Tigers. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Brookings is next Friday as they take on the Bobcats in Brookings at SDSU. And Greg, before we wrap things up, your final thoughts on this Pierre Governor team. And again, I don't want to say that they got away with a win because they earned the win that they had here tonight, but they didn't do the things that they normally do to get a win. Kind of sound like John Butchergrass there. Normally do. They didn't do everything that they normally do to get a win, but they found a way to get a win here tonight.
Yeah, and I think you made the comment offline in the fourth quarter. An ugly win is better than a pretty loss, and especially when it comes to playoff seeding and power points, and that's kind of what this was. I mean, it was kind of an ugly win. I mean, I'm sure that Coach Steele and the rest of the coaching staff are going to have a lot of film to break down and a lot of teaching moments about some things that are going to need to be cleaned up here in the next week. Because if not, Brookings is a physical team. They've got a punishing running back. We're going to call his name a lot next week. And so if the Govs don't clean up some of these mistakes, next Friday could be a long night for them. I hope it isn't. But tonight, you revel in the victory. It's a hard-fought victory. It was a rivalry game. Congratulations to Coach Steele and the entire Pierre Governor team. But I tell you what, if this is the way the rest of this season's going, it's going to be a fun ride. I tell you what, this is a fun ball game.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun calling games last year because the Governors we pretty much knew going in that they're going to win. Up to the state championship, you felt like they're going to win every single game, and you still feel like they're going to win games, but it's going to be a lot tougher to get the win than what it was last year. And these are some fun ball games to be as a broadcaster, and it's going to be a lot of fun next week going to SDSU because that between Pierre, Yankton, and Brookings, all three of those teams, it's a toss-up every single week.
Yeah, and then don't discount Mitchell because Mitchell can rise up on any given night. And I tell you what, don't go to sleep on this Huron Tiger team because if you do, they'll come up and bite you. And so like you said, John, this is a year that it's just about anybody's game. It'll really come down to who plays best in those final 3 weeks of the season.
The Governors win 35-13 here tonight over the Huron Tigers. That'll wrap things up for us here on this Friday evening. Our next Pierre Governor broadcast will be on Monday in Harrisburg as the Governors take on the Harrisburg Tigers in volleyball action as that first serves at 7 o'clock. And then on Tuesday, we start some fall championships as we have the first round of the Pierre Governor soccer team out in Rapid City. I go to Harrisburg Monday night, out in Rapid City by Tuesday afternoon as they play at 12 o'clock Mountain Time, 1 o'clock Central Time. We'll have that for you on today's KCCR. And then we'll also have Pierre Governor volleyball against Watertown Tuesday night. I will not make that call because I can't drive that fast. We'll have a lot of cops following me for the rest of on that drive, but we'll have that still for you next Tuesday as the Governor volleyball team is out in Watertown as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're getting to a point where it's going to be a lot of Pierre Governors sports on the radio here for the next 3 weeks.
So do we call you the Road Warrior?
Sure, we'll take that. I'll take any. I'll take that as a compliment too. I'll take any compliment. But the Governors win here, 35-13 tonight. For Jen Hanna back at the station, for Greg Dean to my left, the Governors. I'm John Winkler. The Governors win 35-13 over the Huron Tigers. Now 4-1 on the season as they take on Brookings next week. Governors now 4-1. They beat Huron 35-13 as we say goodnight from Hollister Field.